आप लोगों ने कल देखा ही था, मैं इस बंदे की
डर रही है। मम्मी देखना पड़ बंद गया उसको। क्या लिया? अरे मेरे गया फोन। तेरा कभी वापस का वापस हैंड करो अब। तुम पहले स्कूल जा। कोई पेंडिंग वर्क ना तो
देखिए, हॉकी टीम्स की जर्नी अभी खत्म नहीं होगी। नॉकआउट स्टेज वीक 3 ग्रैंड फाइनल्स क्वालिफाई करने का आखिरी मौका होगा। वीक 2 डे 3 की बची हुई 10 टीम्स के साथ वीक 1 की #17 और #18 टीम्स जुड़ेंगी। 11 सितंबर से 12 टीम्स 3 दिनों तक फाइट करेंगी और सिर्फ टॉप 6 टीम्स ग्रैंड फाइनल्स में जाएंगी, उन 6 टीम्स के साथ जो पहले ही क्वालिफाई कर चुकी हैं। ग्रैंड फाइनल्स 2 दिनों तक होंगे। डेट्स और वेन्यू बाद में अनाउंस किए जाएंगे। ग्रैंड फाइनल्स डे 1 पॉइंट रश फॉर्मेट में खेला जाएगा। टीम्स को पॉइंट्स बिल्ड करने होंगे, प्रेशर में सरवाइव करना होगा और सही समय पर परफॉर्म करना होगा। 12 टीम्स कुल 6 गेम्स खेलेंगी और टॉप 6 टीम्स डे 2 ग्रैंड फाइनल्स के लिए हेड स्टार्ट पॉइंट्स अर्न करेंगी। जो टीम पहले 90 पॉइंट्स तक पहुंचेगी, उसके लिए चैंपियन रश एक्टिवेट हो जाएगा और चैंपियन रश एक्टिवेट होने के बाद जो टीम सबसे पहले बूया करेगी, वही तेज FFMIC 2026 फॉल की चैंपियन बनेगी और ट्रॉफी उठाएगी। ज्यादा सिटीज, ज्यादा क्वालिफिकेशन चांसेस और ज्यादा अपॉर्चुनिटीज के साथ कोई भी चैलेंज स्वीकार कर सकता है, लेकिन आखिर में सिर्फ एक टीम अपनी लेगेसी फोर्ज करेगी और तेज फ्री फायर मैक्स इंडिया कप 2026 फॉल की चैंपियन कहलाएगी।
Well, hello survivors of all ages, welcome back. After seeing how well the underdogs are performing, the element of surprise has risen. So let's see what the others will do as we head towards the day number 2 of the plains. And you guys are watching Taste FIFA Max India Cup 2026 fall. I'm also Aiden, and alongside me is the brains of a brawn guy, Crips. Crips, how you doing?
I'm doing really well, Azura. Thank you so much for the warm welcome. I am very excited to see some Free Fire Max today, especially because we have some really spicy storylines today. We get to those storylines once you take a look at who's going to be playing today. It's going to be Group B. And the 12 teams over here, well, let's just say some of them are very familiar to you. Some of them will be new, and hopefully a lot of them will impress you today so that you can keep your eyes out on some new people throughout the rest of this tournament.
Indeed, man. I'm just hoping that these teams, they give us some insane performances compared to yesterday. Well, Team Elite, they were shining bright like a diamond. They had the highest amount of eliminations. They had the highest amount of points at the end of the day, and the same thing goes for today as well. A lot of element of surprises, a lot of teams getting the opportunity, and well, the underdogs, they have been performing super good, man. And I'm just hoping that today as well we can find more dark horses compared to yesterday.
Yeah, because yesterday most of the people that dominated the tournament were not really dark horses. They were names that you are familiar with, and that's why it's going to be so unforgiving for a lot of these teams that enter through the FFC mode. You want to see what they have to go through? Let's take a look at the format. It's going to be absolutely punishing because the 78 qualified teams over here, well, out of that, 12 are from the city qualifiers. You have 6 invited teams from the last stage of the FFMIC Spring Grand Finals, and then the rest of them are from the FFC mode. In a total of 84 teams, these will be distributed down into 7 groups of 12 teams each. And then only only half of them will move into the group stage, and that is super difficult because out of the 42 teams that make it, they will add 6 more teams on top of that, and these are the top 6 from FFMIC 2026 Spring. Those teams will then again be shuffled into 4 groups, and only 18 teams will make it to the knockout stage. That means a whooping 30 teams will be eliminated in the group stage. Like, the numbers are just gonna keep falling, and only the best of the best will make it to the knockout stage. But if you do make it to the knockout stage, there is a little prize waiting for you.
Just like those numbers, it just reminded me of my 10th result. In any which case, the play-ins, right? 20th to 26th July. It's super fun. It's going to be amazing seeing all of these top dogs contest against the underdogs. It's all about the meta. It's all about understanding the lobby, and then the one who's going to get the most amount of eliminations and breaking things up, reach towards the top 6, they're going to qualify and move towards the group stage. So that's where we all are focused on. And imagine the amount of groups we have. It's all the way till G.
Yep, 1 crore rupee prize pool. That's what's at stake over here. If you simply make it to the knockout stage, if you just get into the top 18, you will get a minimum of 77,500 rupees. But that is peanuts compared to the lion's share of the prize pool. That is 35 lakhs. The second place team gets 17 lakhs, and similarly, the lower you go in position, the lesser chunk of the prize pool you take home. But there is a silver lining at the end of this. If you become the MVP of the entire tournament, of the grand finals, and you will take home a personal prize pool of 1,50,000. And to earn all this money, you need to get enough points. Most of you are familiar with the point system already, but for those of you who aren't, let me explain it once again. You will get elimination points as well as placement points. Each elimination point gets you 1 point, and if you get a Booyah, you get 12 points. If you finish in the second place, you get 9 points. And similarly, the number of placement points that you get keep on reducing with the position, and that's why you need to get a good mix of eliminations as well as placement points.
And all of that, all thanks to the meta, right? One unique active skill. You cannot have 2 Thivas, you cannot have 2 Kentas, or any of those metas. It will not work. It's as simple as this. If you have an Oscar in your team, you just have 1 Oscar in your team. And he needs to do the heavy lifting. He needs to be the rusher of the team. So that's the kind of combination that we usually speak about, and it's called the unique active skill. The passives can be anything. You can have 3 players having the same passives. It's okay. But the active, you cannot copy that. Just like your homework.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of creativity so far because of that. Today, however, I'm hoping to see some extra creativity because in the lobby are none other than Arise Esports. Some of you might have seen them play under the banner of Autobots, Aerobots, but before they were any of that, they were Arise Esports, and they are probably going to be the most dominant team in the lobby today. Then after that, you also have RTX Esports, the team that managed to qualify through the Ahmedabad City qualifier. And then in
Power. Now, this team has a few new names, but the 2 people in Insane Power are someone that you will be very familiar with, X-Divine and Rashan. Now, keep in mind, these 2 guys used to be in Revenant X-Park. What happened between them and Revenant X-Park, I'm not going to talk about that, but this guy, after being abandoned by the team, is now back with a vengeance. And I'm very excited to see what he can do with his new lineup.
And not only that, the others, Ascendance, Iconic himself is there. Sorry, not Iconic there, but Team Evolution. Evolution has Iconic himself alongside Shanku. And we were all waiting for this, right? When will the comeback happen? When will all these teams start performing? When will they be called pros instead of just being amateurs in the lobby? So it's all about that journey, right? We are all gonna love it. It's amazing. We can even see Black Flag Army as well. The names keep changing, but it's under the same banner. So it's just prodigies after prodigy kids. So yeah, it's under some person's tutelage that all of these folks are learning, and we are all here yet again in order to witness what can Group B do today.
Yeah, yesterday we saw some really impressive performances from the usual suspects like Team Elite and NXT Esports. That was honestly expected. I mean, a person like Pahadi coming from the Mumbai City qualifier, after having already been a champion, people would have expected him to win anyway. And that's why for some of these top teams who already have so much experience, it is going to be a cakewalk. For teams like Insane Power, for teams like Rise Esports, it is going to be a cakewalk. But for all the other teams who have come in through the FFC mode, they've already had to go through a long and arduous journey, and now it is only going to get tougher. For now, their objective is to just survive, just be in the top 50% in the upper half. That's it. Because only 6 teams today will make it to the next stage.
Well, true, and you have to forge your legacy as well. That's the entire motto behind giving all of these teams the opportunity to showcase yet again, see what they can do. And well, we all are having a competition, so chat, even you guys can go ahead and accompany us. So the competition is the top 3 for this particular first map. What's it gonna be? What are your picks? Our picks are right here down on the screen. And there you go. Arise being picked from my end alongside Crips as well. We have 2 similar names and 1 change of name. So NKG, please elaborate on that.
So these predictions, I think for the most of the day, it's going to be the same for everyone. A lot of people are going to pick Arise. A lot of people are going to pick Insane Power. And because I have picked Team Evolution in a few other games later on, I just did not want to repeat the same prediction. So I'm gonna be honest, please do not take this personally, guys. NKG was a diversity pick for me. I only did it to diversify my picks. Although I have seen the performance in the Dryden games, and even though they have a lot of firepower, it may not necessarily translate into the game. If it does, I will be more than happy. I will be overjoyed to see them perform. I want to see some new gems unearthed today. I definitely want to see some new contenders show that they can go up against the top fighters, the top contenders. So if NKG ends up performing well, then I will be very happy. If they don't, well, then I wouldn't really be disappointed either. But as of now, Arise Esports is, in my opinion, the final boss of the lobby, and they probably will dominate these 6 games unless we have a few other teams who can show us otherwise. We'll be starting off with Solara, just like yesterday, and then we have Nextera, the most aggressive map of the entire lobby. So I think we are starting off with the bangers itself, right? The first 2 games itself are going to tell us what the rest of the day holds for us, Azura.
That's right, the elimination game, whether it's going to be good or bad, Nextera is really good on that. And Kalahari, these are the 3 maps that we are going to go ahead and cast, both of us. But moving in towards the drop spots, oh my goodness, TV Tower, 5 different teams. But I don't know where they're going to get the corners as well, because in a triangle there's only 3 corners. In all of these 3 corners, I believe there are going to be some kind of a drop clash on the way. Archway is one of the places where RQX, they can easily reach all the way towards TV Tower and call it yet another 5th or 6th party, whatever they want to do. And Funfair, well, we can see yet another drop clash coming in. Riders Club, there is one team who's completely free and isolated. Eco Train, yet another spot where Arise is going to head towards. Bloomtown looks super packed as R2V, they themselves want to get at least some kind of a share here and get those good weapons and move in towards getting those fights. But Crips, do you think they're lying in the resume?
I honestly have no idea. A lot of these teams, I have never seen them play before, so I cannot tell if they are lying about their drop spots. There have been many instances where teams lie about their drop spots in the past. We all know that, so we take this with a pinch of salt anyway. I think one team that was telling the truth is Arise Esports. They often drop into Eco Drain, but it's not the only place they go. They often split drop, so there will be one other spot in the map that's occupied by them. So I think they're the only team that doesn't have to lie about their drop location, because everybody knows it already from the last season. But the other teams are going to bring a surprise. I cannot wait to see what this surprise will be. So let us get started with this game, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to go live with Solara. The first game of the day, Group B, is going to be competing, and only the top 6 teams will make it. Who's going to go onto the group stage? Let's find out now.
Getting those eliminations, getting the drop clashes on point, all of those things will be seen real soon. But teams are heading towards TV Tower. But is it like multiple? I can already see 2 teams. Oh, wait a second. Good way to move from all the way from TV Tower to Funfair. And I believe Insane Power, they're on to something. They would love to get those eliminations earlier on itself. But wait, are there any drop clashes? Absolutely not. Arise, they're just getting a bit more antsy, trying to see where Black Flag Army is currently at. And Mad God, we have seen that lad. He performs super good when it comes to close quarter battles.
Yeah, Mad God is actually a god. And over the course of this day, you will see a lot of players with God in their name. So let's see which one of them is the real one. Which one of them actually holds the title, is worthy of worship, and which one is just doing it for aesthetic purposes. I see Sham noticing Nunon, my bad. But can RTX really make this move? Because right now, both the teams are just looking at each other with their TPPs and waiting for the first mistake.
But yet the mistake is to be made. I did see a player right behind. What is unhone doing? He has no idea whatsoever. And there you go. The first shot lands in. Dolce, an insane sniper. And he's just trying to make the difference right here outside. Oh my goodness. What a chrono shield deployment right there. Versus and Uzi? I don't think so. Uzi can win the fight. And Mirik, he's been taken down. Good knocks coming through. And R2V, they're on an insanely good start.
Yeah, R2V off to a great start, securing 2 eliminations already. Even though they lost Eco first, but he's been respawned already, so no problems. Another team that had a great start was Team Evolution, managing to eliminate Black Flag Army. I think Arise Esports also helped them out a little bit over there. Or, you know, help themselves steal an elimination. I think that's more appropriate for Arise Esports. But RTX haven't completely lost their heading yet. Even though they have 1 elimination and 2 losses, I think it's still a decent enough start. They're getting a hang of the lobby. They should be able to recover from this loss. But I don't know if this team, NKG, can recover. They have Nivesh and Joansi down on his knees, but Mad God has the angles. He should be able to isolate the fight against Script by rushing right in. But no, Script knows what's coming, blocks his way, still jumps around, breaking through the glue walls, and Mad God gets the elimination. Meanwhile, the remaining members, Joansi and Nivesh, have been rezzed. So Arise Esports back at all full settings.
Goodness, there's still a fight yet to be proved, and there you go, NKG. The third-party lords could not do much there. Maxi got right in front. Good retaliation, but money, no shots are connecting except for the first 2. And this is not at all a good sight. Mad God right behind, and we have already seen Mad God lunging and leaping, getting those elimination points. Mad God, you better watch your back. And there you go, money strikes. And he gets the elimination as well. NKG, but on the other end, they have been completely peppered, bested down, and Money being the last man standing. M590 in his hand, and he's still living for the dream of conquering against 4 people, which I don't think so it's possible. And there you go, the team getting wiped out early into the game.
Danov gets the final nail in the coffin, and NKG is out. You can call it the Caster's Curse. I had them in my top 3. But, like I said, I was just being hopeful. That being said, though, Danav is quite an interesting name, especially when there's 2 other people in this lobby who are named God. One of them is called Maxi God, the other one Mad God. You guys are already familiar with Mad God. But it's quite an interesting parallel to see people named after angels and demons, gods and the devil. We have quite a lot of potential over here in terms of some epic names. But I want to see some epic fights instead. I see one lone member of insane power venturing a little close to Ascendance. Is he just here to scout, or is he here to call upon the rest of his teammates so that they can assault the Ascendants? Maybe he'll just escape.
He better escape, else it's just a free point lying around in those corners. Now, in which case, if he brings in the entire team, then we love to go ahead and see the clash, man. It's going to be a 4v4 battle. And they have to fight tooth and nail for their existence, which you have seen most of the teams doing right here. Arise, 5 eliminations in a blink of an eye, and they're very close to RTX. Venom from a far-off angle, and we all know how this kid functions. Once he sees the opponent, he is going to be long gone. That shot taken by him itself is really good. Sham, you better run away, but it does not get the opportunity. Mad God in the midst of all of that. Vector in hand could not do much. And Mirik, he is trying to mimic each and every shot, but unfortunately, he chose to run. Why would you do that? Do not show your back to your opponent, else you're going to be completely nullified. Venom, lovely double taps, and he takes that elimination as well. Open hands. And Arise Esports, they are conquering the entire area of Eco Drain.
Yeah, Arise Esports started to go north earlier on. That's how they got their first few eliminations. But after that, they realized that some of their opponents will go back south towards Eco Drain to revive their teammates and use the vending machine, so they capture them over there anyway. Meanwhile, Ascendance and Insane Power. This fight has also been brewing for a while. And even though Weddy is eliminated, X-Divine can instantly plug him back into the vending machine and bring him back. The one player who was too close to Ascendance is now going to escape. So, yeah, Ascendance won't have any more eliminations to their name, but they've got 9 already. That's plenty.
Yeah, that's plenty. 1 shot for a double digit. But let's see what's happening right about here. I can see R2V trying to rotate, and it's against Team Evolution. The fight can brew any moment. And Maxi God, as we can see, he's been completely unchecked. Maxi God! Wow, smooth criminal.
Smooth criminal. There's no Annie over here, so you don't need to check up on her. But Sahil might not be okay. Activates the self bite. And he's running right towards Copy anyway. Oh, how is he not getting shot?
Sahil?
Oh, yeah, the moment I say it, he gets shot and he gets
ignores
knocked. Well, Copy pastes that bullet into into Sahil's head. Now he's looking to copy that same action again, hoping to find some more enemies. Maxi got right around the corner, found him.
What are they doing? What are they doing? They're trying to see where the opponents are. Plugging back in your fallen comrade is a good thought. I do understand that move is very audacious, but again, understand where the opponents are. Just now, Sahil got obliterated by Copy, and Sahil did relay that message that there are members right here. You better watch out, but unfortunately, no warning signs taken.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna pay heed to any warning. Jason Solo ascending through the railway. Meanwhile, X-Divine in the vehicle. Insane Power are trying to surround them from every side. Look at the spread. 4 players in 4 corners. Unique Esports are trapped. The only person who's not within this chokehold is one player from somewhere far away. But Jason Solo gets the first knock. Down on his knees. They go for the res instantly, forcing them to use the chrono already. But can these crossfires from Insane Power actually work out? X-Divine finds Villain. Ah, there you go. Gets the confirmation as well. No res this time, and now even Danav goes down. Insane Power have surrounded their prey like an anaconda, and now they're just choking the life out of them.
Squeezing it clean, and the last man standing, Iron Man. Better call Jarvis and tell what the issues are. And bring back your fallen comrades. That's what he can do. Those shots are going to be really good. MVP. This team was silent for a really long time. And finally, I can see them all get violent. 4 eliminations. Strong start. But the others need to fire with all gas cylinders, which is fire. Come on, do it.
Do it. Just do it. Okay, they just want to do some looting now. It's fine. Let them carry on their business. Nobody next to them. Where are they actually? This doesn't seem like anyone's going to be close to them, right? I mean, yeah, sure, there's a lot of teams rotating in from the northern side of Archway. But none of them close enough to MVP.
I do have a question for the audience.
Pop it.
Chat, who do you think is going to back the Booyah in the first game itself?
I mean, I would have said a Rise, but right now R2V Esports are also doing really well in terms of eliminations. So I hope to see a good game from them. I see a potential knock as X-Divine driving right past Johan and Mad God. They spot them on the zip rails, but no eliminations yet. Oh my god, look at Venom. He instantly retaliates. X-Divine down. Does he use the Raphael for the faster bleed out? I don't know if he does, but they get the res onto X-Divine anyway. That could have been a crucial loss, and now getting the reses back online will be difficult because, like, it's the third circle. If you go outside the zone to use a vending machine, it's gonna hurt.
Lovely zone. Lovely, lovely circle. And this is just going to make all the teams who thought that Bloomtown could be one of the spots where they could hide, as they can see the vending machine as well. Sorry, that's not going to be the case.
Yeah.
It's all the way in the open. And if the circle shrinks down even further, then it's going to be Problems Paradise. Just like RTX being caught in the middle of a rotation.
I mean, I mentioned just a few minutes ago that MVP looks safe, they have a good compound, nobody around them, and then bam, the zone shifts right on top of their head. And now they're smack in the center. Every other team is probably going to play on the edges, including Insane Power, including Evolution Esports. Even though they're about to fight each other now and one of them might just die, they will still hold the edge of the zone when they finally rotate. So MVP will be in the middle of all of this. They will have a lot of eyes on them. RTX can continue looting, but I don't think they will get any access to vending machines anyway. There is, however, one in Bloomtown, and they're not contested, so they might just be able to get the res. But Insane Power have to deal with Team Evolution now. I mean, they can't carry this fight into the zone. They have to end it outside.
Oh, X-Divine! He did see some things were fishy there, and he instantly takes him down. What's he doing? Caught slacking, Maxi God! He's still in the air, but the airtime helps him vacate from that location. How on earth? Usually whenever we see a person taking the launch pad that close to the enemy, he's been chipped right off. But this dude, He's for sure a god.
Yeah, it's Maxi God versus Mad God. Battle of the gods, but Nivesh helps in just a little bit. Uses the dash, instantly deals a tickle of damage. And that is enough.
Oh, the third party.
Yeah, Insane Power's also
Insane
here.
Power.
But are they actually here to third party, or are they just here to capture this little
lovely
compound in the
name.
zip rail area? I'm not really sure if they want to just get these eliminations or get the superior positioning over here, because Insane Power seem to be backing up just a little bit. Jason and Reddy behind the wall, ready to engage, but X-Divine is actually providing cover from above, and that could be the difference maker. 2 shots exchange, Susty gets another elimination, Matt got down. Johan trying to go for the instant res inside the time turner, but he doesn't get the opportunity to do so. Venom forced to run away. Luckily, the vending machine is not that far away, so he can tank just a little bit of damage, instantly get the res on 2 of his players. But Insane Power have acquired the high ground that they wanted. So now it doesn't matter if Arise Esports survive or not. They will not be able to capture this place. That's the actual loss for them, not the members. The real estate loss hurts harder.
Indeed, but it's outside the circle. It doesn't matter whether they're going to contest it or not. It's better not to be gate kept. So Instant Revival Venom doing a beautiful job there. A sniper who's just constantly keeping tabs on where the opponents are, plus providing support for the team in order to res them and bring them back into the picture. That helps a lot. But look at the way the circle is doing the heavy lifting right here. The damage is insane. Venom taken apart. And now Arise Esports, they're again down to their final limb. MVP, this team is blessed with a concrete surrounded house, and the others, they're still out in the open, somewhere near the rock, somewhere near the tree, and the others still on the slippery slope.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, MVP have the chance to do the most crazy thing of their careers. Their first game in FFMIC play-ins, and they've been blessed with such a good compound smack in the center of the circle. It's a good thing that they can get this compound, but it's going to be very difficult to keep it because all these teams are going to be focusing exactly on them. Unless they somehow just decide to take out the other teams on the edges first. Your compound is now the most valuable piece of real estate, so you better defend it with your life. Because Insane Power are just coming near the electrical boxes. That's the only safe haven that they can acquire. But all the other teams like RTX, they are not going to stay on the edges. They will have no choice but to invade your compound. And you better be able to hold on to your horses. Because Arise Esports can't. And if they can't, then it's going to be difficult for anyone else.
Oh, yes. What's that? MVP? A lot of letters written to the realtor? Oh, wow. That's lovely. Blocking down the windows as well, not at all allowing the opponents to even take a single shot, but it's them taking all of these shots and even removing those glue walls just to get the additional information. But there's a huge fight being brewed right there, and there is another team eliminated, RQX, which just got sidelined.
Completely sidelined. And MVP have surprisingly been able to hold a fort. RTX are busy dealing with Ascendants because they're like, oh yeah, let's just kick down the team who's lower in terms of the zone advantage. But that's what happens when you don't fire on MVP. Ascendants get a new lease of life. MVP turn their attention towards Raptor Esports, and that allows Ascendant Esports to come closer. But they're all so closely huddled up, man. Like one single nade will be their undoing.
Yeah.
I'm so afraid of a god nade coming in and smacking the entire team back to the lobby.
But they're doing good. They're doing amazing, Crib. So far, getting those eliminations 13 onto their name and so close to getting the Booyah as well. MVP, even though they're inside the compound, they're still being peppered from different directions. It's all the center of attention. And look at that. X-Divan, I can see him. His name has been popped right there. Insane Power. They themselves are eyeing for the real estate.
Yeah, Circle now moving to an Ascendant Esports, so they need to hold those garden hedges. That's the only lease of life
the
they
rotation.
have. Yeah, all the other teams will have to
So
go for
quick.
the rotation because MVP will not be able to use the zipline. They have to deal with RTX Sham, otherwise that guy will create a lot of problems for them. He's the only person behind them and they can't afford to pick up 2 fights at the same time, so they need to deal with this solo first before they deal with Ascendants.
Ooh, that was a very quick movement. MVP Ascendants inside the circle. They're pretty happy about that as the circle is shifting towards them. What are the others going to do? Oh, wait, MVP. They're just moving further deep down, knowing that the opponents are right in front. But wait a second, Fire. He's the first one to fall down. The teams, they're eyeing for this one specific spot. Wait a second. What a lovely repositioning, but I believe that Riptide Rhythm did not land at the right glue wall. Oh, that's a big blunder.
Yeah, you're gonna have to wait for that to come back online. And without that, MVP will have free reign to come in. Like, one single glue wall melter is not gonna stop their advance. Meanwhile, Insane Power used that jump pad. They wanted to use that one tiny rock for cover, but it's not in the zone just yet. It's moving way too slowly for their own good. So they just use the reinforced glue walls, use the reinforced UAV, and hold on. As soon as the rock is available, they're gonna take it. But surprisingly, Ascendants are still alive. I'm actually very, very baffled to see that Insane Power and MVPs are dealing with each other first instead of focusing on Ascendant, instead of focusing on the one team that's in the zone.
Oh, lovely. Jason Solo casually just moving right in, nonchalant, shots coming through. Okay, Rishi has been taken down, but the instant revival needs to come right about now. And finally, the patty between the sandwich is right there. The MVPs, they're taking shots against the one and only Insane Power, and they still are surviving this. What on earth is going on?
Oh, finally a confirmation comes through. There have been so many knocks in the last 2 minutes, but barely any confirmations coming through. Finally, Insane Power lose one player, then you have Ascendants losing one player permanently, but MVP still managed to get the res on fire. Now it's a 3v3v4, and they have all the odds stacked against them once again. Ascendants once again in the center of the circle. At least they have that one tiny rock for cover, you know, but even Insane Power are using it. MVP rushing all towards Jason Solo. He is indeed Solo. He has to pull off the best performance of his life, the clutch of a career, and that is too tall of a task for him. Tushar will be able to put him down. Wetty cornered, trapped like a rat, has no way forward, has to go for a Hail Mary push. But Ascendants, they end up losing Legend. Wait, what? How did that happen? Oh, that's a costly mistake.
Yeah, that's a huge mistake right there. And MVPs, they are just running further and further, trying to take down the other pieces of this board. Naman, I don't think so. That's going to be a very nice movement there. Rishi, we have seen him pull such a 1v1, but it's against 4 people. MVP, they have one member down and confirmed, and the others are moving further in. Rishi right in front, the shots fired, and Tushar capitalizes it with the M590. Nothing stands tall, but look at MVP. Their numbers are falling down, but they're the ones to capitalize as the last member standing for Insane Power. He's still there. What can Vetty do? Can he be witty enough to take down 2 people right in front? Chrono Shield deployed. He's trying his level best. The shots are not connecting, and there comes Tushar, taking the entire case of the action, and the Booyah taken by them, snatched right away from the hands of Insane Power. And that's what happens when the strong take whatever they want.
Oh my god, MVP. It was difficult, it was labored, but they get the Booyah anyway. Blessed by the zone at one point, then forced to snatch that zone advantage back from Ascendants, they claw their way back to the top with 14 eliminations. Etazo, Fire, Rupesh and Tushar finally prove that the advantage that was gifted to them by the Free Fire Max gods cannot be snatched away.
I mean, I have never seen Max 7 be so overpowerful. I know it's an automatic shotgun, and M590 is basically like the gods of all the shotguns. Each and every one loves to use that because you know if you click it on the head, the opponent is done for. So I'm super happy to see all of those actions come right in front of us. And wait a second, Tushar, this dude, he was constantly running around crypts, keeping tabs on where the opponents are, checking for the rock cover, so-called, the amazing ones, but instantly they were demolished. And MVPs, well, for sure, they are going to be the MVPs for the previous map. Getting the Booyah was super important, plus the amount of eliminations that they have bagged. It's a big game for them. Massive.
Yeah, massive game indeed. I mean, I'm surprised that MVP were able to keep so many of their players alive in the last circle, you know. This definitely is not what a standard game of Free Fire Max looks like. I mean, maybe it's the play-in state, so they don't get punished so hard, but generally, whenever we see a team that's been blessed so well by the gods that they are literally in the center and nobody else around them has any permanent cover, you will see that team getting pushed relentlessly. Somehow they were not pressured, somehow MVP were able to hold their fort, and I don't want to take away any credit for them, rather take any credit away from them. These guys were still able to hold the fort no matter what the zone threw at them. And even when Ascendant
Indeed.
stole that advantage away from them, even when they raced them ahead into the circle, they were able to claw their way back. And that is a very, very difficult thing to do. The IGLing required to survive that situation, the support required to keep 4 players alive up until the very end, it's incredible.
Oh yes, and the kahunas, man. Imagine all 4 members are rallying up. They're reaching from one corner to the other, from the house compound to the open grounds, all thanks to the glue walls. And the tactical ability through which they're just understanding all of this is just crazy good, man. Love their performance overall. And well, this is one of the places where no matter what happened, it was this team trying to go ahead, shut the other teams down, and get the booyah. Oh yes. Ascendant specifically, look at the way this was a spot where I believe most of the teams, they were planning to reach there, get the rock cover, but again, did not get the opportunity. 3 teams standing there, and in all of those action, we could see MVP just standing tall. And this dude, man, this dude, Tushar, was so clean with his action. Shots landed perfectly, 26 total points, backing the booyah, 14 eliminations on their name. Even though Ascendants, they were way too close. If they had received this booyah, then trust me, things would have gone even more south. They would have been at least at 30 points, truth be told. Exactly. Oh, indeed, and these are the 2 teams who are fighting tooth and nail in the very final battle. Look at the way they have rotated all the way, taking a flight path, reaching down towards Funfair, and from there on, they're just constantly running around, trying to see where the opponents are. And look at the circle rotation. I just love it, man. MVP, they just knew it. Zeroed in, pinpoint location. I don't know whether they use GPS or not, but they got it. Dialed the number, reached there. They haven't moved the compound for what, 6 to 7 minutes? They're still there. They're chilling. Right. That's right. Oh, yeah. I just have that very feeling, man. It's not going to be matching. Of course, we did see a lot of times where they took some fight, they shot some shots, it landed perfectly, but they could not get those eliminations. So that's where I believe the problem has arisen. But all of that kept aside, MVPs performed very well. I believe the 10K steps have already been completed. And moving further in the next following match, I'm expecting more of the action to be brought right in. But on the other end, we did see 11 eliminations coming in from R2V alongside alongside Arise as well. So that's a really good start. Usually all of these teams, they crave the kind of momentum, right? Once they get the momentum, they're unstoppable. And once Arise catches hold of all of these things, like knowing where the mistakes are, what teams are doing exactly, so they're going to be very quick on deciding what needs to be done next. Specifically, Venom. This dude is an all-star performer, man. Being a sniper, I did get the glimpse of the way they used to play in the olden times as Autobots, and we did see they have shut down such big names. So I'm hoping the same glimpse just looks forward, and from there on, the kind of statistics we're going to look for.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of statistics, I kind of feel like the MVPs were robbed of a lot of their eliminations. They threat mitigated really well, they target prioritized really well, but I think
Right.
a lot of their eliminations were stolen away. So hopefully they can make up for it in the next game, which is going to be in Next Terra. Now, we all know the Next Terra generally is the maps where we see the most amount of eliminations. It is the most action-packed map. So I'm expecting MVPs to get a lot of eliminations once again, but was their 14 elimination game possible because they had this compound, or is it the other way around? That we will have to
I would say they were pretty confident throughout, Grips. They were pretty confident. They knew where to head towards, and they were just keeping constant tabs on the opponents as well. Each and every window was sealed. You imagine the kind of presence of mind they had in the final circle of it. So MVPs, whatever has happened, I believe it's not going to be a lot of problem to them because they're pretty confident. Moving further, we can see next era, the drop spots are speaking yet another story that teams, if they're planning to have a very nice drop spot or the drop crash, if it comes through, then it's a big welcome.
Yeah. Before the game begins, let's take a look at the caster predictions. I think I'm going to just keep going for Arise Esports and Insane Power in almost every single game. So I will have very boring predictions today. But Azura has made something bold of a choice over here. He's predicted Black Flag Army. They were one of the first teams to get eliminated in the previous game. So are you still feeling good about this pick?
Oh, of course, I'm feeling absolutely amazing. Truth be told, Black Flag Army, they are very quick on adjusting with all the micro adjustments that they need in the game. Mistakes created, made, every single thing can completely be nullified. And moving further, we're going to have a very nice time at Next Terra because usually you see a lot of drop clashes. Plus, the rotations in this map is just squeaky clean. If you have that, then basically you have already won the map.
Alright, let's see who's gonna win this map. Next Terra, the most aggressive one of the lobby. Coming up on your screens now. I don't see any potential drop clashes just yet. Unique going towards Mud Site. Team NKG going towards Rushdown. Wolves going towards Mortar Ruins. Wolves at least made it to the mid game last time. Let's see if they can do the same now. Arise Esports uncontested in Dekh Square. Oh, there is a potential clash happening in Farmtopia. R2V and MVP, but those are just two people of those two teams. Because R2V, the rest of their members are in the museum. Only one of them is over here in Farmtopia. And the same can be said for the other team as well. They have sent two of their members away. It's going to be a 3v3 over here as Ascendants and R2V lock horns. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, that's the risk of a drop clash. That's why a lot of these teams are avoiding it. That's why we see a very silent first few minutes in this game. Although there have been days where there's like 3 teams hot dropping in one spot and the start itself is so explosive you barely get a chance to catch your breath. I prefer those games, of course, but I'm not lucky enough to get them all the time. Oh, I say that, and Ascendants have a new contester. Evolution coming up in their vicinity. Okay, so there might just be a clash yet. Hmm. One elimination secure. Meanwhile, Ascendants are getting full sent on. Rishi forced to back away. The grenade launcher is not going to find him yet, but Shanku tries to pre-fire around the corner. Does he know that Rishi is no longer alone anymore? Naman has joined him. He's trying to break the glue wall preemptively so he can then go ahead and peek from the left side, but they both decide to fight each other on the right. They're running rings around this little Rosie. And this compound, it's going to be splattered red. And they find the first one. Oh, good damage dealt. Instant glue wall deployed. Now the grenade launcher comes through, but the chrono protects them anyway. The preemptive time turner helping them stay alive for just a second longer.
Kind of reminding me that at least there's a really good cover that can be provided. Evolve. Have they met their match? Naman, he's the first one to falter right there, but the others, they're slowly moving in. The fight is going to break down so bad that Team Evolution, they are going to get most of the spoil. It's another battle right in front. Sahil, close quarter range. Yes, I do see Legend right in front, and this battle will not see another day or time as a charge buster instantly decimates the opponent.
Yeah, Sentence have survived the encounter for now, but not unscathed. Evolution also losing a couple of members. At least they managed to get one res back. Pintu, he was the only one from the Ascendants team who was not a part of this cluster. The other three were fighting over here while Pintu was providing cover fire from afar. So he escapes the moment he loses two of his players and instantly rushes towards the vending machine. So Ascendants are able to get some recovery, but the moment I say that, Legend is getting shot and he's solo on health. Luckily, Shanku doesn't have a Moko, otherwise Legend would be toast. At least he gets a chance to heal himself, but there's no escape. The glue wall breaks, and so does Legend's skull.
I mean, he had to basically have the infinity glitch of the glue wall. Again and again, deploy it so that he can be safe, and that's the mistake that he usually made. But it's alright, it can be completely nullified as long as he's alive in the team. RQX on the other end, 5 eliminations, they are starting pretty strong, and getting Jason solo was super important as well. Titan! Well, that weapon is basically used to heal your friends, but he's just completely taking things up a notch.
And he's gonna not just take things up a notch, but like put the burner on full blast. At least when it comes to R2E. He's got them pressured from this high ground. But even after getting that knock, he wasn't able to, confirm the elimination. So he might as well just reposition now. Oh no, Titan goes down. That too against NKG. They were not ready for this third party. I mean, technically it's not a third party yet. They haven't closed in the distance, but Titan still goes down. Are NKG really sending only one player across this bridge? That's bold. Oh yeah, there the others.
No.
Yeah, one player walked across the bridge, the other one's gonna fly in. And now all of a sudden, Rapid Quest X are getting full send. They were not ready for this at all.
They just got good weapons just about now. The vault opened, they got good weapons, and NKG, they didn't want to spend 1200 free fire coins. Absolutely not. It's better to steal from the opponents, and that's what they did. Insane powers, looking at all of these shenanigans, taking a couple of shots, but still they're inside their vicinity. They're not full sending it just yet. And Bulls on the other end, like a pack, sticking close against a Rise. You need those.
Yeah, Rise Esports wanna keep control of Zipway. Still one of the better compounds to hold. Oh no, Ascendants get eliminated. After such a good game last time. For them to go out in the first spot is indeed tragic, but Rise Esports continue to dominate. Johan has become the damage king already with 2000 plus. In the first few minutes of the game already.
Hello?
Oh my god, now Matt God also showing us what he's made of. Nivesh gets the elimination onto Spoke. Everybody on Rise Esports winning their individual duels.
Such confidence. This dude does not have a stop button at all. His character keeps moving from one point of the map to the other. No stops at all. He instantly pummels down a couple of the players of Wolves, and now they're looking for more coins. Oh, the sadness. Oh, they can revive both the players, but it's going to be the cheap buyout.
Yeah, unless Predator has some more money of his own. But again, you can only afford to revive your players now. After this, after the third circle, it becomes very difficult with only like 3 revival points in the map. So you can still afford to tank some amount of zone damage and, you know, go out of your way to get your teammates back online. But Arise Esports don't need to do that. Chilling, looting. I think they're fully leveled up. I mean, look at the amount of money, the amount of... okay, the utility is missing. They could use more nades. But, yeah. Their armor is going to be upgraded soon. It's just level 1 now. They should be back at like level 3 in no time after using that care package. But, to RTX, now they're getting attacked by Black Flag Army. UAV deployed, so at least RTX know about the inbound attack. But what can they do? Even with the information, they lose Yahi. And Black Flag Army get the confirmation.
Or the confirmations, it's coming through. Mud site, one of the places where usually whenever a team is heading towards, their information is known in a jiffy. But let's see about how well the Deca scare has been contested. Team Evolution, they're trying to rotate, they're reaching in towards such good compounds, and RTX on the other end, the mud site fight continues. RTX 5 eliminations instantly buys in the fallen comrade as well. And this is a really good start that they required. RTX in the previous game, they could not do much. Eliminations, yes, we did see it, but not in a full-fledged, full send way. So, Shyam, he better do something really good. Black Flag Army, what you doing? You did see a player sitting right on top, and all of a sudden, Ronix, he's running away for his life.
Yeah, I hope he can escape, because RTX will soon be hot on his heels. Even the wolves are here in the vicinity, so Black Flag Army, their efforts just need so much more, even though they've given everything. Phoenix can get the revive onto Roger, but that vending machine is now being contested. Predator is hot on Rayonix's heels. Nice shot with the AWM up close. Great way to deal with the pressure. But Black Flag Army, their troubles are not over just yet. Yeah, he once again tries to rush into another player while getting sniped from afar. Black Flag Army are really covering each other well.
Very well. And it's all thanks to Rhinox. And this dude, sniping, insane, watching all the corners, knowing where the opponents are heading towards. And Black Flag Army, they have completely shut down the opponents who were there towards Mudside. Even though they have tucked their tails behind and they ran away from those corners. But still, that's a really good movement coming in from their end. Black Flag Army, confident start, and that's what they required for this following map.
Black Flag Army, well, at least it's not the end of the world for them just yet. Whatever problems they're facing, they can recover from them. Insane power. Well, they are taking losses against Evolution Esports, and look at that, with those few eliminations, Sahil has just become the damage leader now, overtaking Arise Esports. Oh no, Insane Power get completely eliminated. Oh my lord. It's not just Evolution Esports, but also R2V working in tandem with them. Oh, Insane Power, one of the strongest teams in the lobby, already out. We have 2 big names going out already, man. 2 of the best performing teams of the last game will no longer be even in the 3rd circle.
And the MVPs, they're getting the spoil, they're getting the fair share. Oh boy. I don't think so. Wolves can even survive the wrath of 2 teams. 2 teams taking pot shots against them. And look at the way Itazo is just capitalizing one frag after the other. It's just constant number game that this team is gaining around the corners. And the others, even though they're sitting inside the compound, they're just trying to make some turret. What is that, a human turret? Oh, wow.
Oh no, Shanku gets the knock onto copy. Instant res comes through, but the full send is not here just yet. So R2B get ample of time to recover from that loss. But Team Evolution are gonna keep pressuring them now. This tiny window, this tiny angle, it's gonna be peaked by so many players again and again. But look at that, Black Flag Army going for the full send against the Wolves. Where is that even happening? Black Flag Army are fighting against MVPs as well now. Very soon, they should be able to get inside this compound. But MVP versus Unique is a completely different beast that Unique are not prepared for. They glue wall the staircases, they get the res onto Villain and Rex. But Danav cannot be picked back up. Arise Esports, oh my god, they are fighting so many people at this point. Like, even though they're inside the house, Arise Esports are trying to take shots at people who have no business even fighting them. They're trying to take a piece of the pie against Unique and Black Flag Army. And because of this pressure, because Black Flag Army are also shooting from the other side, poor unique players cannot get inside the house. And this inevitably benefits MVPs who get a chance to rest themselves. Like, it's so funny how much Black Flag Army are helping out MVP over here.
You see, you need a secret code in order to enter the house, and I don't think so they have it. If they had, they would have been inside. Unfortunately, they don't. So the level 1 or the level 2 of the house is completely contested. Arise. They have a very nice spot for Mayhem, and they might as well can capitalize, getting the Booyah as well. The others, they need to head inside the circle, and they're just chilling there on top, getting the height advantage. And if that carries on, then it's just going to be insane. But Unique have been completely peppered down, eliminated as the MVPs of the previous game as well. They are just constantly so well played.
Yeah, MVP. At least this time they are not blessed by the zone gods, but they've managed to clear out Black Flag Army and force them to go elsewhere. Black Flag Army, this actually works out really well for them. They take the high ground, they use the mini launch pad, get up on top of the bridge, and from here only Arise Esports can be a real drop down from the bridge. They're gonna hang around under the bridge now. So Black Flag Army is completely safe. They might just have one of the best positions in the entire game now.
Good spots. And NKG, the nade. Oh, all right, he's safe. For a second, I thought it was his own nade, and if he would have thrown it on his feet, might have been a very wrong sight for him. But in any which case, Maxi God just rushing forward, and Team Evolution, they're trying to take down NKG. Good shots coming through, and I'm just loving the confidence that Team Evolution have. But nothing is a match for NKG. Each and every one healthy and surviving, and that fight was over in seconds.
Oh my god, Black Flag Army, they step into the trap laid by Arise Esports using the landmine so well, and Ranax is down. And this gives NKG so much to work with. Look at that, they've just cleared up their building, and now the circle's moving towards them. So NKG are just gonna chill for 30 seconds while all the other teams beat each other up. Even R2V, after having control of this house for such a long time, will be forced to vacate and move in the direction of NKG. But before they can do that, they're gonna pressure MVP as much as they can. Arise Esports and Black Flag Army, they both were trying to fight for the control of this bridge, but what's gonna happen now?
Oh no,
poor Phoenix drops down, and as soon as he does, MVP shoot them down. The rest of the Black Flag Army goes down to Arise Esports, who now have full control of this bridge. But what's gonna happen when they're forced to drop? They will be landing right on top of the heads of MVP players.
And MVP, you better be aware. You better be vigilant. They have 10 eliminations. They're not here just with a fluke of luck. Absolutely not. Fighting those battles tooth and nail, getting those eliminations, and they're right in front of R2V. This battle, it's going to be accounted for as well. They're showing up for it. They're slowly but surely reaching in close inside the gas station, but nothing is helping them to reach close. They're getting gassed out. They have very low HP. There's one player who has rushed down the throats of R2V, but it doesn't matter. They still have the prime spot. They're still inside the circle, and there are others. They're still outside thinking, what wrong have they done?
Yeah, and NKG can do no wrong at this point. Money and Aleem singing the songs of death with their shotguns. It's a bloody orchestra over here. On fire, gets extinguished. MVP out. Arise Esports out. They wiped the floor with everyone. NKG, what they couldn't do in the previous game, they have completely flipped the script and taken the Booyah.
My oh my, high stakes and the adrenaline rush that they had, lovely shots, and it was one squad after the other, not a small one, a big squad. Wait, I have seen Aleem, I have seen him perform, and this dude, whenever he comes right in front in the lobby, he just decimates the opponents. What a lovely game from them. 33 elimination points. 33 elimination points! 45 in total. That is crazy amount of elimination and points that they racked up in a single game, making history or just equalizing the history that we could see yesterday.
Oh my god, did I predict them for the wrong game? I had them on my predictions in the previous game. I put them on the third spot, but now they just show up out of nowhere and completely decimate the entire lobby. Like, yes, sure, they had a great zone advantage, but Unlike MVP in the previous game, who also had the zone advantage and only got 14 eliminations out of it, NKG really showed us how much value you can extract out of the zone when it lands right on top of you. And
That's
oh
right.
my god, this is what... you're supposed to strike the iron when it's hot. And NKG have done exactly that. If only I predicted them for this game instead of the previous one. Oh my god, I would have been like a literal prediction god right now. But hey, life has funny ways of surprising us. And I was thoroughly surprised by NKG's performance. I had expectations from them, but 33 is not something that even I was expecting. So yeah, that was not on my bingo card, man.
Absolutely, bro. 33 eliminations and 12 Booyah points secured. So let's see who the MVP is. 12 total eliminations by this lad. Money. I mean, put your money where your mouth is. 5,917 damage and 11 assists with the form that he was going further with. 11 assists. How? Why? Where? 12 eliminations. Dude took battles against what, 22 or 23 total members. What happened to my mathematics?
Yeah,
No wonder
no.
I was
I don't blame your maths, bro. Like, this game was so insane that you really can't keep track of how many victims Money has on his little list. He was targeting so many teams. Like, can you keep in mind that Arise Esports and Black Flag Army, they also had decent spots, right, on top of that bridge. Yeah, sure, Black Flag Army were forced to drop down, MVPs wiped them, no problem. But Arise Esports still had their launch pads, they still had a great position. And NKG managed to punish them as well. Like, sure, NKG would have been able to deal with Evolution and R2V anyway, right? Because they were in their line of fire. And Revolution and R2V had to come towards NKG regardless. But Arise and Black Flag Army were never supposed to be their victims. They still get the eliminations on them. That's why they have 33. It's ridiculous. Like Arise Esports, the team that was literally on the high ground, have only 15. They should have had so much more. Black Flag Army, 14 eliminations. I'm not surprised. I mean, they were hunting down a lot of these teams from the start of the game, right? They got to like 10 eliminations in the first 3 circles itself. So they didn't do much in the last circle. MVP, again, decent zone, 10 eliminations is exactly what I expected from them. But what happened to Team Evolution and R2V? Like, even though they were supposed to contest against NKG and take those, areas away from them, they just could not make a dent. And that's where the firepower of NKG comes through. Even though this circle is going to tell you the story of RTX and NKG, trust me, RTX was not a factor at all. They had nothing going for them. They just happened to survive up until the end because every other team was falling prey to NKG. Like, look at the kill disparity. 3 eliminations versus so many from NKG.
Yeah, 5-2, 4-2. I mean, those numbers, the way they were rotating from one circle to the another, they just had constant tabs on the opponents, moving in towards the compounds, getting the eliminations, and then from there on, moving to another target. So I don't know what was going on, but for sure, they were like the headhunters, constantly going in for the fights, getting those eliminations. And overall, the way they have performed, it has for sure impressed each and every one who's watching this stream. And this is today's overall standings, right? NKG Esports with 48. The previous game itself helped them get the bump all the way towards the top spot. Plus 9 places. What they have moved is just mountains.
Exactly. I mean, like, only 3 points in the first game. And they were the first team to get eliminated, by the way, in the previous game.
Oh, yeah.
And from 12th spot to the literal number 1 spot, that is too big of a Booyah comeback story. But again, it's just 2 games, right? In 2 games, if they've done 48 points, I think that's pretty impressive. They're going on track. However, we are yet to see. You can't exactly give them all the credit right now because they have been somewhat inconsistent. Literally between 12th and the first spot, they've jumped up 9 spots. I haven't seen such a big jump before. Not in 2 games. MVPs are still consistent, they're getting like an average of 20-something per game. Winning the Booyah in the previous game with 14, this time also doing really well. So yeah, MVPs and Arise Esports are doing really well for themselves. RTX surprisingly keeping up with those 2 teams. So yeah, the real surprise over here was RTX for me. But NKG, oh my god, what a jump, bro.
What a jump, man. What a jump. So, moving in, let's actually see what's going to happen next. The top 3 teams, right? I'm hoping that it's going to be the same because we have just chosen these 2 teams continuously everywhere. And this time there is going to be some kind of a change. All right, R2V. I'm putting all the eggs in a single basket. We both have done the same thing. Arise, insane power, but both of them are not able to showcase the similar kind of performance that they used to. I don't know whether
Yeah.
it's just a synergy problem. It's understanding in the lobby what's happening, who's doing what, the rotations, they're being caught in the middle or not. All of that should not hinder them at all because they have so much experience. And specifically X Divine, man. That guy is so good, right? He's the MVP usually, sorry, he's the IGL usually in all of the teams wherever he goes, and he has tons of experience. And even through all of that, he's not able to understand or analyze what's happening in this lobby. Speaks a lot for itself.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Insane Power and Arise Esports are having problems just yet. They're not in danger. But we kind of expected them to dominate the whole thing. We kind of expected them
Indeed,
to like
man.
smurf in this entire lobby. So yeah, that's not happening. They're not as dominant as we thought they would be. That being said, though, I can kind of understand why Insane Power is not able to do it just yet. I mean, the X-Divan had to form this team just a day before the city qualifiers, so they haven't had that much
that
time together,
explains.
right? So they're not firing on all cylinders yet, but they're still doing pretty well for themselves. MVP, at least they were able to get to a pretty high standing in the second game as well. You know, NKG was super inconsistent, getting eliminated very early on and then getting a Booyah, so I really don't know what to make of it. I guess this would be a good acid test, you know, if they drop into shrines, then they'll be clashing against X-Divine's team. And then we can finally figure out whether this Booyah was a fluke or not.
Okay, for starters, just head into the lobby wherever NKG is, take a fight against them, see whether it's fluke or not, because I personally would not be doing that. They are super good when it comes to the elimination game of it, and even understanding, I believe their comms are super smooth, telling where the opponents are, where the one solo rat was hiding towards RTX, at one last member, he thought he could do at least something, but unfortunately what happens is he just gets smacked around the world, and he's like, get back to the lobby. So, and NKG, I'm hoping that even in this game they can carry forward with the momentum. But there's one problem, right? Whenever you back the Booyah, you have the bullseye target right on your back, and many people keep chasing you to the end of the world just to get the elimination point and go ahead and assert domination, make a statement that no, you're not going to get the Booyah yet again unless you're NXT.
Yeah, and this time they will literally have to go through trial by fire, because if they drop in shrines, they will be facing Insane Power, and right next to them is the favorite drop location of Team Arise Esports, Oldhampton. They are literally on the edge of the world, literally on the northern edge of Kalahari. So let's see whether they can survive this acid test or not, because the strongest teams will be chasing them. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I won't keep you suspended in mystery anymore. Let's find out as we head into Kalahari.
A lot of reactions, a lot of them just having broken hearts, knowing that their team is not able to function that well. But trust me, things are gonna change. This is Kalahari, this is the land of dreams, which will give yet another opportunity for all of those snipers to shine and give the support to their teams. There's a drop location towards Stone Ridge, and I'm just gonna enjoy munching my popcorn.
Yeah, Stone Ridge. It's Ascendants versus the Wolves. But Wolves have a little bit of a split drop. They sent one of their players to Santa Catrina, hoping to get some safety, but that one player in Santa Catrina will also be contested. Meanwhile, Zoeb gets the first few eliminations, getting the advantage for himself and putting Ascendants down. Meanwhile, towards Refinery, we have R2V versus Black Flag Army, and this is gonna be a crucial battle.
R2V. Well, so far, it's not looking good for them, and Black Flag Army, they're capitalizing. They're getting those eliminations. They have already secured one ache-acho right in front. Unhone, he needs to do something. MP40, alright, close quarter is the only way to win, not far off angles. And Mac 10, we know that this weapon just goes burr. So Black Flag Army, even they are not at all rushing things. They are also taking things very slow. If the opponent rushes to their faces, that's when they're going to take the fight. Oscar Dash still available. Healing drones deployed. Now going in for the rush, but the Chrono Shield instantly deployed. But it's not going to help out as one member of R2V is already long gone. Unhone, he is also going to be bitten right off. And Black Flag Army taking the flag and putting right at Refinery, claiming the entire territory alongside the vending machine.
Vending machine and refinery acquired. Black Flag Army assert their domination. And unfortunately, their victims will have to go around running and looking for some time so that their teammates can be rezzed again. They don't need to go for the vending machines just yet. But meanwhile, Ascendants, they were fighting somebody in Stone Ridge, I believe. And now they're getting third-partied. So yeah, NKG has arrived over there. That's pretty interesting.
Happens to the best of us. Third party, second parties, first parties. You yourself can be a problem. You never know.
Hold up though. MVP. They are kind of split across across Council Hall and Bayfront, so if they try to fight RQX over here, they won't have any backup. ache-acho needs to hold his own ground against Vicky, who's cooking the nade already. Will he toss it at the right spot? He should be able to hear ache-acho now. Goes around the other side to dodge the damage. But Vicky cannot afford to rush alone. Yeah, there you go. That side flank. That's what needed. ache-acho spots him already. Pre-fires. Gets the knock, but still gets traded out by Goku. Oh, wait a second. Rupesh comes in for the rescue. He avenges ache-acho, and he should be able to go for the res as well.
Oh, that was absolutely lovely. ache-acho presence of mind. He was healing, and I did not know why Vicky just allowed him to heal himself. Alongside taking the inhaler, the battle did look pretty clean, but Lucky is super lucky to escape alive.
Lucky. I don't know if he can live up to his name. But the Wolves have certainly lived up to theirs. The Wolves have now become the elimination leaders. Uh-oh, Unique Esports get eliminated. Where even was that? That's a mystery for another day.
Mystery yet to be unraveled. Wolves, but on the other end, wow, that's a really good start. 7 eliminations, pretty solid. And they would want more. The pack of Wolves, usually they start really good, but at the end, towards the mid of the game, it's a lot of problem because the rotations, they've been caught off guard. A lot of teams rushing towards the other corners, and Venom is in deep trouble. MVPs, the moment they see anyone right in front, constant shots at them. Whether you have glue walls, whether you have the infinite glitch of the glue walls, it doesn't matter. It's going to melt.
Well, so far, the MVPs have nobody to target. They are all alone over here. And even in shrines, where I expected Arise Esports to come fighting, I only see Nivesh close to shrines. The rest of his team is still in Oldhampton, where they might just clash against Insane Power and R2V.
Yeah, in the middle of all of that, Team Evolution, they're gone. NKG, the rotation is pretty good. They've headed all the way towards command post, and they're just constantly keeping tabs on the opponents as well. But let's see what Insane Power can do here. Mad God, he's stuck in the pickle. 2 players right in front, 1 coming from behind. Jason solo, and in front, it's just going to be Jason solo taking him down. The Bison, it's enough. Close quarter battles instantly completed. And well, Arise, they have a lot of money in their pocket. Doesn't matter what happens to the teammates, they're instantly going to revive them and they're going to bring them back. But R2V, in all of this, they were looking what's going to happen here. If there's going to be a knock or two, we're just going to full send it, and that's what they're going to do.
They get the knock onto Sasti, but there will be a res. Aiko almost got taken down. Had to pop the time turner just to save his skin. Oh, but Snake can't reposition in time. Eco is pressuring Vetty from above. Snake tries to pressure him from below. But they're getting chased. Look at that grapple landing straight in his chrono shield. And Eco finally gets one knock, but no, he's instantly traded away.
Susti, alright. He's just gonna run away from this. Better luck next time, he says. Hops on the tuk-tuk and instantly rushes. Dashes away from harm's way. So see, you better not be caught as Jason Solo is right in front. We know what happens. If the vending machine is contested, you better be aware.
Black Flag Army are hovering in the vicinity. Luckily, Black Flag Army do not have the bandwidth to focus exclusively on Insane Power just yet, because even MVP are taking shots at Black Flag Army. Otherwise, this could have been the very end for them. So they should be able to ride off into the sunset on their horseback, quite literally. And Black Flag Army, the team that could have pressured them, are now busy shooting down members of Rapid Quest X. So that works out for these guys.
Okay, I did not understand this one concept. Why did Insane Power stall so much for revival? They had Jason Solo all this time knowing that they have mankind disadvantage, and all of a sudden the members are fading away yet again. That is not at all a good call. But let's see what else is going to happen here as the refinery has been completely contested. Black Flag Army, they have the fire around their name, but I don't think so they can live up to their name as the MVPs have arrived around the vicinity. They've already seen 2 members rotating there. They do not know how many more are there. Black Flag Army, you better be aware, else this pirate is just going to rob you clean.
Yeah, these pirates don't have much of a sea to rule over here, so they're just gonna surf on the sand, and oh my god, fire is surfing on their dead bodies right now. Triple elimination from fire instantly. Oh my god, you're right, it is too quick. I didn't even finish my sentence, but he finished off half that team.
MVPs, solid start for them, solid start. Nobody can change their fate at all. And regardless of how well Black Flag Army is performing in this following map, they need 3 more members. They're down to just 1. Where is he though? Look at the MVPs. They're just heading towards the next following location where the vending machine is to find that last member.
And he's not over there, so MVPs have 2 places that they can go. They can either go to the Bayfront quad compound where there is a vending machine, or they can go to the direct Bayfront area where there's a recall tower as well as a vending machine, you know. Oh no, never mind. They head towards the one between confinement and council hall instead. Meanwhile, Arise Esports have the other vending machine under control. This one is north of Refinery. So because Arise Esports is present over here, nobody else can get in. Not that anybody else needs a res, only Black Flag Army need that res. I don't see where that last player is though. He's probably in Oldhampton. Oh, all the way outside in Oldhampton. Never mind. He just got the res onto Roger Phoenix and Nasled. But that is a long way from the center, man.
That is a long way, but it's alright. I hope he does not get gate kept at all, because that's the only thing that can bring down the entire team apart. But other than that, Ascendants, well, they just have 1 elimination point. I do not know where they were. I think they were busy getting good weapons, but the weapons do not look that clean. AC-80 in the hands of Pinto alongside VSK. So, alright, 1 good weapon, 1 bad weapon. The combination just, could be getting a frag or 2 and getting to know where the opponents are heading towards. But other than that, the team is trying to rotate in, directly entering towards a circle. Rather, at the center of the circle.
Wow. Just flying straight towards South Bayfront. Okay, so Ascendants control South Bayfront. Black Flag Army contests the northern side of Bayfront. Arise Esports are going for the Arsenal as well as the Bayfront quad compound, so they should be able to hold that northern border. Who else? I want to see what's across the river. I see MVPs just across the river, very close to Black Flag Army, but still not within rushing distance. And I really wish we could see the map once again. That would really clear up a lot of our geographical questions. Naman gets a knock, but I do not think this can be confirmed. Unless he has like a Raphael or something.
No, they need a lot of eliminations.
Yeah.
Ascendants, they need confidence. And I believe it's the elimination that give them, they thrive on it. But there's one team who's trying to thrive outside the circle, which is not at all right. Copy on the other end. Oh my god, the angles are super deadly. And if a player is caught slacking, trying to run in towards the circle, he's easily going to be bitten off. It's going to be a detour outside the circle, trying to take the wrath off the blue, and then somehow reach in towards the circle. Somehow, Wolves. Can you make it though?
Oh,
yes, they
that's
can.
how
For
they will
sure they
make
can.
it. Yeah, they're going right across the skies.
Absolute cinema.
But where are they gonna land? Oh no, a tiny hut. That's all they have for themselves. That is not enough room, but hey, it's better than being out in the open in the blue.
Oh, yeah. The four-colored rainbow, it did come down all the way towards a very solid concrete compound. But R2V on the other end, they're just constantly seeing those glue walls and peppering them down, saying no more protection for you.
No more prediction indeed. Take a look at this. Such a well-distributed circle. Oh, never mind. Just saw another elimination. 9 teams alive now. You got MVP once again in the center. Meanwhile,
That was NKG. What
yeah.
happened to them?
Yeah, I want to know what happened to NKG as well. They had 6 eliminations before they went off, but yeah, couldn't make it.
But look at MVPs, they're so close.
Yeah.
They're off 2 points. That's it. 2 points is just like, you know what? 1 shot here, 1 shot there, 2 points, bam. And soon they might dominate this group as well.
Azura, look at the circle. Once again, MVP have prime real estate. Wolves also have a decent compound next to them, but they will be forced to come towards the border of that compound, just on the edge. Rise Esports, unfortunately, will have to leave their compound. Even Insane Power, as well as Ascendants, will have to vacate the Bayfront area and get in towards the other house. Insane Power can actually avoid this fight. There is one compound that's available, which isn't occupied by Ascendants just yet. So both the teams will end up racing towards that compound. Otherwise, they will have to fight against Black Flag Army. I don't think they should force a fight just yet.
You know, Ascendants, the best way they can even enter towards the circle is the mini launch pad. And I did see it.
Yeah, they have.
Truth be told, 1 launch and they'll be right inside the circle. And if they see a third party, if they see 2 teams fighting, they're easily going to just ram right in, get those eliminations. As simple as that. I mean, it's very easy to say, but doing is very tough.
Yeah, it seems like every team will find a roof over their head. Insane Power, Black Flag Army, even though they are neighbors, they are not fighting each other just yet. They want to focus on Arise Esports first. They are homeless right now. Atrocities against the homeless continue. Not a political statement at all, but Johan and MadGod actually make it across. Alright then. Hold on, why isn't all of Insane Power shooting down Arise Esports? I just saw them get a knock onto MVP. What's that gonna accomplish? That's gonna accomplish nothing. And because they're not all focusing on the same team, Arise Esports actually make it into cover. This could have been such a good opportunity for Insane Esports to punish Arise over here.
But it doesn't matter. Arise, all 4 members, healthy, aided, and they're just constantly running in, trying to see where the opponents are. Oh, Black Flag Army, you better be ready for this. It's a 4v4 battle which Arise is just waiting for, throwing nades right inside, and I believe Snake is doing a really good job. He did take one of the members of Wolves down, but it's not the confirmation just yet. Oh my god, 1 spot, 3 teams. Insane Power just squeezing things even more tighter. And if Black Flag Army, they're not aware about the whereabouts of the opponents, they're going to be long done from this.
Yeah, and all 3 of these teams will have to cross that water body in order to get over to the other side of the landmass and get into the circle. Yeah, this is gonna be bad. It's gonna be brutal for all 3 of these teams. All 4 of them is as if Ascendants don't move quickly enough, but at least Ascendants can avoid this little cluster and just use the mini launch pads. I don't think Arise Esports have that same luxury. They will be forced to face the music against Insane Power. They get inside the house, very sprayed down, pre-fired by Nivesh. Nivesh gets raided by Jason solo, but they can instantly go for the res again. So Arise Esports back at full strength. Jason solo once again, even after getting res, will be knocked down for a second time. They get the elimination on 2 Venom. Mad God's the last one standing, dancing around that corner shield. He gets 1 knock before he finally succumbs to his injuries. And even Black Flag Army have just 1 player left. He's using the stealth bite, hoping to steal away someone else's elimination. Excuse me, that's not even your knock. Prioritize saving your own skin, but he gets another point in the process. So yeah, he's alive. He outlives Arise Esports, and somehow MVP and RTX are not looking at him. So Rhinox can just hide over here for the time being. But very soon, he will be forced to face the music against Ascendants. How is he going to deal with that now?
It's the circle that is forcing him to move again and again. He has no clue where he can head towards, and Rhinox, rather than just choosing to dash through, he just cannot do anything. My oh my, the fate of Rhinox. As Black Flag Army, the last member, he fades away. Tazo, that nade was amazing. and instantly takes away yet another team's hopes of getting the Booyah. MVPs, 14 eliminations, and they have the height advantage as well. Constantly rotating, knowing what can be done here. ache-acho, smart as always, and this team, I do not know what is up with them. They know where the circle is heading towards. They always prioritize the solid compounds, and they know that they have to stick to basics. And that they do so well.
The zone prediction has been absolutely spot on today.
Top notch.
I think they might just have a zone magnet because they just keep pulling it towards themselves all the time. Except for now, where it's like heading towards a neutral destination, and both Raptor X Esports and Rapid Quest will have to face the music and compete against each other in a rather evenly matched circle, which is not occupied by anyone just yet. MVP now just taking the rooftop. They want to get a few long-range knocks against RTX before they can grapple in and go across this gap. Oh, but fire goes down to Yahi.
Oh, they're full sending it.
My goodness.
What? No, that was the biggest mistake. Last member standing, and RTX, they snatch away the Booyah. And this was lovely. The patience game aiding them. And it doesn't matter. The law of the jungle states just one thing. The powerful always snatches things away. And look at that. RTX, they just stood there. Grips, they just stood there.
Yeah.
They're like, you know what? The opponents are going to come towards us because the circle is shifting. And why would you take the grappling hook? You're in airtime. You cannot use your weapons. And well, you guys have seen what has happened right there.
Raptor X, with all the stoicism and the invulnerability of a raptor, of a dinosaur, hold their ground as MVP literally Spider-Man their way across, and the moment they land, they're all blown apart by Yahi's grenade launcher. Look at that, Sham also instantly getting the knock. Like, MVP had just made landfall, they just grappled in, and all three of them grappled at the same time, by the way. Insane coordination, they probably said like 3, 2, 1, fly.
And boom.
And boom, and all of them dead. Insane stuff, man.
The timing on the grenade launcher, super good. And this is the entire roster, the way they have performed. Yahi, we did see him fall again and again, but the way he was supporting the entire team, it was beautiful. 5 eliminations, 4 knocks, 4 assists. But the damage king, I would say, is Dolce, the sniper, constantly taking those pot shots against the opponent. 7 knocks! My God, Dolce, way to provide support to your team.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of those knocks were not converted. So he only gets 4 eliminations, even though he's done 4,171 damage. That's like 1k damage per enemy. That's a lot.
But yeah, indeed. But the MVP setting a lot of sons of the opponents. Shyam, 8 eliminations, 2,889 damage with 5 assists, and Woodpecker was his weapon of choice. Thiva, Joseph, and Nikita, faster reload. He wants no hindrance from the opponents, any disabilities. Alongside Thiva, just to give an instant revival with an Oscar dash, he can just topple a lot of things. Glue walls, knock back the opponent, and take away their HP as well. A tiny sliver, but it helps a lot.
Yeah, RTX Esports. Really good job by getting that Booyah with 19 eliminations. MVPs, they probably could have won the entire game. They had 15. They had a good compound as well. And if they didn't donate their frags to RTX Esports, they probably would have had much more points. But hey, 24 points is still pretty impressive, man. And I think MVPs have been the most consistent team today, getting 20 plus points in every single game. So I am not complaining about them at all. Black Flag Army also going from strength to strength, finally getting a 19 points overall, 13 eliminations. Meanwhile, Insane Power Arise Esports probably had a lackluster game. It's not bad. I mean, 16 points and 11 points are not bad at all. However, we expect more from them.
Absolutely, but the circle shift. Do not talk about MVPs. MVPs always know where to head towards. I don't know what they have. Like you rightly mentioned, it might be some kind of a circle magnet that the IGL is utilizing again and again with his microscopic vision. He just knows where to head towards, and they haven't moved yet again. Final few minutes, and they're just there inside the compound unless they were like way too eager to take the fight against RTX, and all of a sudden, one boom, and the entire team was gone.
Yeah, one boom and the entire team was gone, man. Like, At least they didn't cross their paths.
Wait.
Like RTX.
Big Bang
did, right?
lasted longer than them.
I mean, at least RTX had to fight their way into the zone, right? They're always getting like 2-3 eliminations here and there. Even to get to this little compound on the other side of this Bayfront River, they had to fight their way inside. Meanwhile, MVP, they picked up fights early on, and then they just stayed over there. In typical MVP fashion, they stayed somewhere inside that compound, did not move, so that's why they didn't have any eliminations in the fourth and fifth circle. But then they managed to make it up anyway. And their consistency brings them to the second place. I'm sorry, the first place. Getting 20 plus points in every single game basically means MVP has 68.
And jokes apart, the MVPs have been super consistent. Regardless of what has happened in Kalahari, they had good amount of eliminations, and look at them. Prime spot. Podium finish. MVPs in 3 games, they have performed super good, and I'm hoping it's going to remain the same with the consistency that they've already showcased us. RTX as well, 63 total points. NKG Esports, they have dropped 2 spots, all thanks to Kalahari. I do not know what happened there, Crips. But in any which case, it was just like 5 elimination points or 6 elimination points that they could get in Kalahari. Usually, Kalahari is one of the spots where the snipers gets most of the eliminations for the team, and that's where I would say like a rotation, I believe, would have caught them off guard.
Yeah, and at least MVPs are doing a good job to make sure that they don't get caught off guard like the other teams over here. Their zone prediction ability has been amazing. They've been super consistent. Man. Even Arise Esports and Insane Power are doing really well for themselves, although it is very good that MVPs are overpowering them. Let's see if they can continue after this short break, where we will be back with the next few set of games. That's it from our side, ladies and gentlemen. After this, our other caster friends will take over, so don't go anywhere. We will see you soon.
Easy. next one easy.
Exciting chase has broken out right here at this Free Fire Max India Cup 2026 fall. My name is Lucifer. With me on the desk is Arka, and now we are on the hunt to see who will make it to the next stage. While we've already seen a record-breaking 45 points, I want to see what will happen towards the bottom of those 6 teams, because the chase is getting closer and points are in a difference of 1 or 2 only, Arka.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is the best part of this group, right? The top contenders is what I would like to call them, the survivors at the very top. They continue to dominate, making it so much more dramatic for the teams from the 4th to the 6th position. Any team can still make it through, and that means all you guys have to do is share among your friends, bring them out here, because this could be the best of the Free Fire Max action you guys can ever find.
I'm excited to see what now teams change up. Now, yes, day 1 we ended up seeing Group A teams performing. Today it's Group B. Teams will slowly cascade and some of them will trickle out throughout the 7 groups that we have. But the best part of it is the hashtag as well, is forge your legacy. This is your time for every team out there to forge your very own name here in Free Fire Max, and I hope you take this chance, because some of the city qualified teams are making an entry, but some of them are also getting eliminated. That's the brutality of the competition. Some of them make it through, and especially when we kind of saw the last spring, right, we ended up seeing an underdog story culminate in such a brilliant manner. Right as now, yes, one of those names very synonymous, Fire Eyes Glory, who have made it to the next stage. But when that team just had Fire Eyes, the roster made it to the big stages. So it is now your opportunity to get there. But we're talking about the opportunities. I think the scorecard also told us of today's standing. The MVPs already showing up as the best MVPs. They are on top with a total of 68 points, and right next to them at the second spot, the team who got the Booyah is RTX. And they're the city qualified team, Arka.
Yeah, absolutely. There are more city qualifier teams playing out here, and also some invited as well. Let's not forget that Rise, they come in with a lot of action out here, because it's a squad which does want to prove itself. Let's not forget that they were there in the top 8 or the bottom 8 of the previous land. So I'm expecting a lot from them, and that's one of the reasons why I have them in my predictions. I know that you're also thinking similar to me, but at this, this is the first time I see that all our predictions are kind of similar. It's just that I see that NKG is the team walking away with the Booyah.
Yeah, I think instead of NKG, I would have put RTX in place. It was just that 145-pointer game that they managed to pull off, because in game number 1, they had only 3 points. To see that big change all of a sudden, I was excited to see. And that is the reason last minute change I ended up making. But then RTX pulled off a Booyah. I'm like, hey, Lucifer, stop making those sudden changes. It's okay. And as with that sudden change, we jump into a different game that is going to be played on Bermuda. And then at game number 5, Purgatory. And at game number 6 is going to be randomized. So you would have to wait and watch. So all the 12 teams that are going to be playing, you better pull off your A game right here in Bermuda, because this is the safest of lands in Free Fire Max that you know your terrain of.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody knows the nooks and crannies of this map. But for now, we see the drop locations, and I see a huge cluster towards that peak region where we have several teams, especially the teams who need to make sure they pick up points, rather not go to that position. Let's not forget the southern side of the map, which always looks empty. We get betrayed. The teams go there, and then they make a slow comeback towards the peak. But it's good for us to say that in this group, the drop locations and the drop clashes are not that similar, or probably not that chaotic as it was yesterday.
But one thing I'm for sure kind of getting an idea that with this side of teams now jumping in with the city qualifiers, in-game qualifiers, and our 7 to 12 position from spring, everybody is looking forward to take their spot and make it at home. And which means that there seems to be drop clashes on the Nai that teams want to take control of, because right as now I think around 5 teams around peak is what we ended up seeing. This is what happens when everybody wants to claim a land which might be theirs or somebody else's. It's all about the competition you put up in front. I think MVP have been consistent overall that we have been seeing. RTX after the Booyah, they've made their jump into the top 2. NKG after their only 3-pointer, they with the 45 now are slowly trying to climb up the hill. But the teams at the 4th, 5th and 6th, that's what I'm looking at. That is Arise, Insane and Ascendance. Ascendance was a name I had in my brain of, hey, this looks like a team that should be in the top 6. And even during our rehearsals, I was like, hey, this team is a team to watch out for. I see some nice players with some firepower, gunpower, aim and coming through. So right as now, them sitting at almost that provisional entry or elimination spot, right next to them is going to be BFA. So the difference between those two teams, Arka, is just a single point.
Now, this is where the predictions always go down south, because this turns out to be the most unpredictable tournament, and that's why I love it the most. The best grassroots level tournament you guys could ask for. This is Stage Free Fire Max India Cup Fall 2026, and hopefully you guys have shared it among your friends so that they can all come in and witness what they've lost for not using this opportunity, also gain some knowledge for what they can in the upcoming tournaments. Nonetheless, you did speak about Ascendance, but one team which kind of has impressed me so far has to be that RTX Esports, because several players from this team looks like they know what they're doing, which is very hard for us to find when we look at the underdogs, because they come in clueless. They come in as if they don't have the textbook basics. But this time around, this team knows exactly what's a good fight and a bad fight. They also know the frontline assaulters are doing a good job.
Now, when we talk about these assaulters, rushers coming into play, I think we also kind of dwindled around the meta already being of the snipers. Somewhere in that mix, we're seeing that gameplay come back to the close combats. I'm enjoying that. It has to kind of bring between that M590, Mini Uzi coming into play. Maybe sometimes you end up trying to play with the MP5 or ump as well. So teams are mixing around it, but it's not been the complete best, because we see some teams have to refine. Some of them are remaking their entry here in Free Fire Max with this circuit of fall. They want to get to the final stages, but hey, the entire ordeal is bigger and better for all of us, especially because it gives you time to get an idea about the environment itself, especially that top 6 are going to qualify. I was worried that maybe when we started off, it's going to be a sliver of a margin for teams to qualify from their in-game qualifiers, from the city qualifiers, that we end up managing only maybe top 3, top 2, but no, you have top 6. That's a big bracket and also a difference of a margin that you can make your entry to. And that we are moving to Bermuda after the first 3 games. If you've had a fall off, just because it's next era, we've had an idea of 45 points being pulled off by NKG. This tells us that every team still has a chance. It's just about how you manage to do it.
Yeah, but that's the reason why we go to, relive all those moments. R2V as well as NKG, they were on an early skirmish where we saw that it was to and fro, but eventually after which we saw several really good, fights take place, right? Ascendance, as you correctly pointed out, you see that Rishi has already got 6 to 7 eliminations in the first few circles itself. Shows that we can expect this team to explode or probably implode on themselves if they take that pressure.
Pressure is something that every team is already feeling from the very first game. This is Solara, the game number 1 that we ended up seeing. IP, that's insane power. I wanted to see if they will be the ones taking an advantage, but you can see even here Ascendance, a dash coming in and the glue walls being destroyed and all of that one after another. Ascendance did not have a chance. They still rallied back their forces with the last 2 members. One of their players, Rishi, barely surviving. But I think Ascendance being kind of split in various different directions ended up being the problems that caused them to be eliminated. Multiple teams then started hammering them down, even though there was about to be a revive there. So close at that vending machine, and he got eliminated. So Ascendance, unfortunate that game number 1 did not work in their favor.
BFA as well. This is one of the other big org, if you ask me, because they've always come up with some true talents. This time around, they're kind of trying to, get themselves into this game, and it's taking a little bit of a toll on them. But this was an unstoppable spree coming in from the side of NKG. Look at them. They had so many eliminations, but still they did not think about stopping, and that's one of the reasons why they have to be the most feared squad in this tournament so far.
There is only 2 squads right now that I'm worried, not feared about. Is going to be Unique Esports. We saw them on our screens. It looked like okay-ish in terms of their performance, but in terms of total points, they just have 10 Arka. And then is the Wolves. They have a total of 16 points. Now, this is where I'm worried. Teams after 3 games have still not pulled off enough points for themselves, and if this continues, it is no climbing hill for them, because the team next to them is going to be Team Evolution, who are sitting at already a double point difference that is of 31 in total. So if the team at 11th and 12th need to make a move, it has to be here. And what better of a game or a map? It is Bermuda. You better do it now.
Yeah, absolutely. The basic, the default map where everybody who has played this game knows that this is the map they love the most. For all the players out there as well, once you understand this terrain, you can do phenomenal. But ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to head into the most lovable and the default map of this game. It's going to be the map of Bermuda and the flight path. Every time it's skied, it makes me go throbbing.
Now let's see how this helps out. But for the time being, it's not skewed. It is not problematic for anybody. It is diagonally cutting the map in half. But I want to see, as you said, Arka, something going around the edges maybe of a flight path somewhere, teams being affected. But right as of now, we end up seeing it start off at the very tippity top, just between Observatory and Bullseye, cutting right towards Sentosa being the last. And we can see already drop clashes in Pochinok and maybe around Factory, Clock Tower as well. But where does it start, or where do we find the very first elimination? It seems like NKG might be the ones, because the knock coming in from Ascendants get confirmed on Alim.
Not the kind of start they were looking out for, but at the same time, the quick revival is gonna keep their hopes high. They've got 55 points so far. They'll have to probably maintain that average of 10 to 15 points to be on the safer side. Nonetheless, Money, he's going to push. He's going to put one player down. And he pushes even more harder where he gets restricted at the very spot. Hyper on the other side comes in for a trade, but he also gets taken down. And that's UNK for you, ladies and gentlemen, who are fighting back with punches after punches. And luckily, they've got 2 eliminations already against NKG.
They needed this. To be honest, Unique Esports, we were just talking about them. They need these points. So 2 eliminations, moving in the right direction. So are the Wolves. But again, Unique being challenged one after another. This is NKG. Tried his best, but Alim, the man who just got revived, he was only good for a knock. Could not find that elimination on Danav. A little bit of an unsuccessful attempt, but that was a very bold move for him to try and pull it off. Clock Tower, I don't know what happened to Ascendants. They're still close by. They tried, they did get elimination, they did only lose a player, so they could still go for a challenge rather. They decide to move away. But on the other end, moving in the right direction is going to be R2. They're confirming plethora in terms of elimination on Wolves and put Wolves to their last 2 players standing. And Copy was the one who ended up getting 3 of those eliminations. And it looks like he's not stopping. Now he's on a rise. That's going to be Mad God, who's now getting picked off and also confirmed. R2V seem like they want their own Booyah, and it seems like they're starting strong.
Now, another skirmish which is taking place out here. Again, it's got to be RTX who are looking for some hunting. But this time around, yet again, they're on the receiving end of things. Iconic gets taken down. Maxigor and his teammate. Oh my goodness, he goes in for a jump. I hope he's revived his teammates. And I strongly feel he has failed before he gets taken down. And that means now the whole squad relies on one man. Maverick also gets taken down. And this could be big problems for RTX.
It is confirmations. RTX down to their last player. He is already in another path. And I think that was the player who just got revived. Therefore, he's already flying in the other direction and not getting spotted by Team Evolution. But 6 eliminations, that's big. They're at the 9th spot. So this will add on to what Team Evolution would want to do. But they're a little too far from where all the fights are happening. They only just emptied Mill, and from here they have to make a run where actually all the fights are breaking out. So a direction that they would want to make a run in. But RTX, the last player, Dolce, he's made a run. He's no players to be worried about. But I don't know, he's still using his stealth bites. But on the other hand, even after using a chrono, Unique are unable to hold their front. They're getting hit one after another by RQX. 2 of the players lost, and it seems like eliminations going the way of RQX.
Yeah, absolutely. RQX, they're trying everything out here. With Goku down on his knees, they're going to be easy pickings for them. Because they've got that man advantage, all 3 of them. Now they want to push. They want to take down Danav, who cleverly fell back, got a revival, and he gets traded off. And I believe that he's already done the deed, right? He's already revived his teammates. And that means that there's an opportunity for them to strike back. But RQX, what a domination in that factory region. They stuck together. They held on to each other's back. And all they did was fire and take down the opponents.
RQX, after taking down the opponents, now they have another team that they could fight for. Close by, Arsenal. That's where Ascendants are. Now, RQX, maybe they could tread a path in the other direction and go towards Ascendants, but Ascendants, I'm not sure what their plan is, if they would want to move or if they don't, or they're just holding for the time being, because the play is not yet being done. But we did speak about RTX. It seems like one of their players is still somehow surviving, getting the revives as well, one after another. But RQX themselves, they're at their move out, and now they're moving in the direction of MVP, and maybe they take a fight with them and put down the top team. They are right now in the overall standing at the very first part of the today's standings, and if that gets moved, and what a shot coming in from Rupesh with the Winchester. Hits Titan right in midair and confirms it as well.
Oh, I was hoping that MVP could strike a little bit earlier, but ultimately that one shot by Rupesh shows that this team is capable of taking a head-on fight. And what's happening on the other side? Lucky and Goku, both of them are thriving to get to that vending machine as Goku puts up a glue wall. It's ache-acho. He wants to take him down, but the revival comes through and then the shots gets connected. Eventually, it's Goku who gets taken down, but ache-acho, he tried to do his best to restrict the opponents, but yes, it could be another mind game, my friend, because more players coming down is more eliminations in your pocket.
More the merrier for some of the teams, Arka, because they would want to climb up, and Ascendants maybe in that intent towards peak, making a run right now. And it seems like they're chasing insane power. Now, they do get a zip line, so they will be able to zip-zap their way across before Ascendants maybe take a hit, and I think that should be the hint, with Pinto already calling it out, that they have been quick and steady taking the zip line and they will make a run for it. So if they continue that path, they might get caught in another direction, so rather back in. And as they're backing in, they have another team. That's going to be Team Evolution, and shots already taken on Naman. Sahil with his M82B wants to take a hit, but that call will also make sure that Team Evolution close the distance between the players of Ascendants. As of now, Pinto, he's far away from his teammates. This should be the opportunity, and Team Evolution with Shanko making a rush, the Valiant dash, still not finding an opening. That was a nice savior coming in from Navan, but he's losing his HP. He better be able to stabilize himself. Electrotherapy being used, 2 of the Chronos being pulled up, and now a chase coming in from Naman finally finds the opening, and Maxi God is down. Shanko trying to tuck his tail and run, but that as well doesn't work, and Naman instantly with the use of the Electrotherapy making a run, and Sahil will revive his teammates before again a chase breaks out.
Oh, absolutely phenomenal one from Sahil. If not, the whole squad could have got extinguished in that fight. Nonetheless, we are able to see that teams have been clever when it comes to fight. They have that insurance policy of one player running to the nearest vending machine. And this makes things so much more interesting, Bermuda. And this is why I love it. Everybody knows every corner of this map. But for now, we see that RTX shying away from fights, which is not actually their way of doing it. But this time around, I think they're going defensive.
Maybe. After the Booyah, we've seen majority of the teams in the world of Free Fire Max always being eliminated first, right, Arka? And now, still 12 teams are here, surviving here in Bermuda. Not even one of them have been eliminated. So maybe RTX are like, at least one of the teams, let them get eliminated, and let it not be true, the curse of the team who got the Booyah being eliminated. But on the feed, yes, we've been seeing a lot of teams being eliminated in terms of their players confirming eliminations. Our eyes right now on R2V. Earlier we did see R2V were picking on players, and they did got a lot of elimination for themselves. But as of now, RQX, even them after fighting, they're playing at the edge of the circle. At Kotatsuwa, not sure who they are planning to hit, but one thing for sure is they're making sure that the edge of their play zones are always going to be clear.
A clever approach, if you ask me, because you need to keep your backs clear, right? You know that you're aiming for that Booyah. Eventually, if you're able to get 3-4 eliminations in the beginning and then you survive until the final circles, you'll get another 2-3 squads, obviously, in those final fights, which is more than enough for you to get an average of 25 in a single game. Even though the math looks easy, it's a very hard path they'll have to walk on. Nonetheless, RQX still holding on to the corners, but somewhere far away we see that the Wolves are busy trying to pounce upon a team. It's going to be Smoke who tries to come up. Yes, he's got that confirmation and he's got a bit of loot as well. And all of this is outside of the circle at Observatory.
I'm not sure what Wolves are doing. They just built a little bit of a confidence with themselves. But after that, it seems like they've stalled here. And staying outside the zone, I understand, because we just spoke about how RTX are trying to play to survive, make sure that they're not the very first team to be eliminated, and that's the same intent. Wolves also know, as they look at the top of the screens at the edge, they know all the 12 teams is surviving, meaning no placement points available for any of the teams to take. And maybe Wolves trying to play the longest of zone games for themselves, but not always the best strategy that has worked out. And now you can see they're forced to take all the 4 players, 1 vehicle, and will try to make a run, get back into the zone. And especially that we are about to now in the next 45 seconds go to the 4th circle, and if 12 teams are still going to be there, it will cluster everybody.
But the best part is they're trying to come in from that corner of the circle, luckily, which seems to be a little bit empty. But yes, there are chances where teams would, use that binoculars, trying to gain information. Once they also feel that this place is empty, we can expect a rotational clash. But for now, things are looking good for Volcano. Nonetheless, we see that this circle is starting to turn out to be a menace, because it's got very limited hard compounds inside the circle, and one amongst which is held strongly by BFA.
Black Flag Army, let's see if they'll be able to do it. But right now, Team Evolution, they are doing it. They get 2 elimination. That's going to be a total of 8 to add on. And they're still playing outside the zone. Very close to them now. Wolves are making a jump. This is what I was worried about. But for Wolves to make a hit on them, it's going to be Team Evolution first clearing it out. And there it is. Valiant Dash being used, making a jump. And Shanko, he gets hit with the M590 from Rupesh. Maxi God trying to turn it around before they lose Shanko to his knees, but they will make sure they confirm. Wound a little more deeper coming in from the MVP, and right as of now, Rupesh is already out. And all Maxi God is trying to do is break those glue walls, and while he was trying to do that, they've also lost Sahil. Meaning this 4v2 all of a sudden has just turned to a 2v2, and trouble is now knocking on their doors, because Unique Esports are also getting closer. Thankfully, knowing and understanding that, it seems like Team Evolution, they've made a run out of it.
Oh yeah, desperate things always comes with huge consequences, and that's what happened out there. MVP Rupesh on the other side, now he has an information with where the players are. Danav showing his back, gets taken down, and it's an easy elimination for that of Rupesh, who's got that cork. He sees more player at a distance, and the complete squad of Wolf is also coming against them, and that means probably some more eliminations can go either of these teams' ways.
Rupesh powering through with the cord, knocking players left, right and center, gets Rex as well. And Wolves, they better fear this squad. But Rupesh, unfortunate, he will be spotted from Predator in the other direction. And Tazo, he has to run away. That was a very well played game, I would say, rather than a complete strategy using one player to go and fend for himself, while the other MVPs, they regroup, they gather towards maybe a Booyah again. They started off with the Booyah already. In R2V, they would also want to do the same. Wolves, after putting down the MVPs, now they're making their run towards the zone itself. And Wolves, right in front of them is R2V, and a nice hit coming through, but that's going to be from BFA's Phoenix. That AWM knocks, and now Ascendants are in trouble out in the open, and on the other end, Wolves are also closing the distance.
Look at those ice grenades. Every single throwable is dealing a lot of damage, due to which Ascendants are looking handicapped. Naman, very flat on the grass. He needs to be careful, because from a distance another squad is also scoped in against him. Before I could complete, Wolves are also on the receiving end of things. Not looking good for these two teams. BFA, they were so silent for so long, and suddenly they realize that they need to pick up some eliminations.
And there it is. While they are trying to do R2V as well. We spoke about Wolves maybe regrouping towards the side of Ascendants. It did not happen. They keep challenging R2V. And now R2V Esports, they've already found the opening. They have total of 14 eliminations. unhone with the Valiant Dash tried his best, but he still gets knocked. Not to be worried. That elimination will not go out. And look at this VSS. Zoe was almost about to be dusted off over there. Player knocked very close. Snake trying his best. R2V has already recovered unhone, and trouble keeps striking the Wolves. What can they do? They have to quickly turn this fight around, but they don't have space. They don't have the zone. The smoke right now is going to be Smoke himself, as zone's closing in. Melter's being used, and as he tries to make a jump, his position compromised. And now Smoke will be hit. Zoeb's position already cornered. ICO, wait, what? Smoke with the Max 7 up close and with the CQC trying to deliver, but Copy finally training it around along with Snake. It is Wolves who will be put to rest.
17 eliminations. R2V are looking to end this game on a big note, but it's not going to be easy for them. Because after this, they'll have to fight a 4-man squad of NKG who have been silent throughout this game. Their aim for now is to get as many Booyahs as possible so that it's easier for them to walk into the next round. Look at this. Aleem has got the scopes locked in. He does do a little bit of a damage. But on the other side, he sees the player are trying to jump their way into the circle. And that's why he's holding on to his position. Far away from the circle for now, but I know that they have a better rotation in hand.
Rotation is going to be very crucial. Just like how we saw R2V after eliminating Wolves, they got stuck at the zone. We spoke about it. However, they do have their players, but a nice shot coming in from Script. That's a knock, but R2V, as we've seen them, they've always been quick on their revives, and I think that is the use of the Thiva. Not sure that's one of the passes they hold, but we'll take a look at it towards the later game. But now Snake coming into the Woodpecker. He puts him down. Sorry, Money coming in puts Snake down. Now even Copy going down. There's going to be a car 92k. One after another now. NKG looking forward to that breakthrough of a game that they found. Maybe try and replicate it. A top 4 teams. Copy down again. Even though R2V are not giving up in this fight, it is still NKG hammering them, knocking them one after another.
Oh yes, every shot connects and the confidence keeps rising. On the other side, BFA were looking so strong in this lobby are suddenly looking very, very handicapped. Goku trying to push back, hold back. Roger is the last man standing and I believe that he also will be getting taken down. And with that, BFA might be exiting from this lobby. But let's not forget that he's still holding on for now. But NKG, they choose to come in to punch as the hardest punch and get an end to this. But look at this clever move coming in from his side. He knows that NKG and RQX will have to fight and he stays as silent as possible.
RQX, they've not had a better game. This is the best game they're having, but Lucky goes down and more falling. Goku tried his best, turning one around with the Trogan, but for how long? As the whole squad gets wiped instantly. Nothing left over there. And what a try that was. Now the last team, that's going to be BFA, and the last one standing will be put down, coming in from Money, and that is the end. This is NKG with the second Booyah on our Group B matches here in Day 2 of TASE FFMIC 2026 Fall.
Absolutely a phenomenal gameplay. I wouldn't call this a domination, but I would say this is consistency at its best.
Yep.
15 eliminations, 12 position points or placement points. It's Narikottam, the team from Tamil Nadu, who are doing so well. NKG, I mean, it literally translates to be a pack of foxes. They're not playing like wolves, but they've been cunning like foxes for sure.
The way they held the position, even this movement towards R2V itself, so good. I really liked, even though we could see R2V were trying to hold themselves so well, we saw them not giving up at all. Revive after revive after revive, and still NKG, they did not lose their hope, and eventually they fought with all the last 4 teams, one after another, and it was them. Arka, we've generally seen teams fight against each other and it come down to the last 2 teams, but here in this last shot and the final fight that we witnessed in the top 4, it was NKG putting rest to all the teams.
Yeah. They know, right? They've already got that confidence, but now they start to see that controlled aggression coming in from their side. Suzy, Casey, both of these are always there. Yes, for a sniper having a Suzy main, we have not seen that in a long time. But it's working out for Script, right? For the rest of the squads, especially for Money and Aleem, the front line doing really well. And all this damage is thanks to their persistent shots, which they took in the final circles. 2,400, 2,300, 2,200, and almost a 2,000 coming in from the side of Sniper. But 10 assists from Hyper is something which has shocked me.
Shocking as of now, yes, it has to be, because a lot of points have been taken away from teams at the top itself. Teams at the bottom, only RQC tried to make it close. BFA as well, but they had only one man standing. We have to take out today's standings, which will give us more idea. But right as now, the MVP, game MVP is going to go to Money 7 from NKG. 6 eliminations in total, 2,462 damage and 5 assists, which we already saw in the team statistics. Plus, on top of that, making sure he played the Drekki. This Drekki is always a menace when we kind of talk about the binoculars, right? Drekki changes the fact from the binoculars from just information to, especially in case in that CQC you're trying to heal behind a glue wall, you're done for. He will charge against you and then you will be put to rest.
I mean, that is what I call pouncing on the weaklings, man. That's what this team has done throughout the game. 27 points in total and a big smile on their face. Where R2B Esports, they made a proper comeback, if you ask me. In the points table, they were not looking that great. But all of a sudden, after this game, they might look like they seal themselves into the top 6. Let's not forget that Ascendants, even though they went down early, it's that 9 eliminations which has allowed them to survive in the overall standing.
Quickly taking a look at the circle analysis of how everything went down. We spoke about how Mill it all started, but Factory, NKG, I'm not sure how they held themselves, because at Factory, I think even we saw RQC or RTX, they were trying to hold it off. From there, they made a way out, and it seems like ahead of the game were NKG. BFA on the other end, holding it off. They played a lot of survival in terms of trying to get points, holding it off in terms of how they would want to battle, trying to look forward to if there is a chance to sneak their way into points. All of them that they tried to do, and Arka, they managed to only get 13 points in total.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's problematic.
No, again, I would just wanted to add a point, but before which, we look at today's standings post-match 4. This is what it looks like. MVP, they lose their top spot, and NKG, they climb up being consistent. 2 Booyahs is what they've got so far. R2B, look at that, 4 points they climb up to make sure they come into the top 4. 65 points, probably I'm looking somewhere around 80 to 82 points in total for the cutoff, but the deed is still not done. From the 4th position till the 10th position, anybody can make a comeback and make it into the top 6.
I agree. I second that opinion. Anybody still has a chance, because if a team has pulled off 45 points, it can instantly turn around. But it's just about keeping at it. But Wolves and Unique Esports, I'm getting worried for them, Arka. Now, Arise and Ascendants, they're the closest, right? 60 and 55 points. Now, even if Wolves and Unique Esports manage to get 40 points, now Wolves will be the only one at 64. But that doesn't mean Ascendants as well as Arise, they're going to be in that same spot with the same number of points. They are bound to get more points in the next 2 games. So for them, it's about consistency, hitting the right mark. And once they're hitting the right mark, it is about making sure that they are in a form of taking points away from Ascendants and Arise. If they're able to do that, the game's theirs.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, again, there's a lot more of things I would like to break down, right? Just before this game, how close things are turning out to be. We felt like Arise could be one of those teams having that kind of seniority in their side of having one player who has done so much previously in RNTX. I was expecting them to do better, but this time it seems like the pressure is kind of putting them down. And if they're able to tackle it out properly, probably we can expect them to do well. I'm speaking specifically about Nivesh and Divine, and hopefully we'll be able to see that. A slip of tongue, but a better storyline. Nivesh on the other side is also coming in from the side of Arise, who needs to make sure he does well.
And talking about doing well, let's take a look at our predictions if we are going to be able to do it, because NKG is a name synonymous in both our ends, and from there now we have finally changed, not making it a same to same. I've gone in for R2B, just looking at their caliber of just holding off fights. So they refine themselves in terms of positioning. I think they have a chance to get, and on top of that, we also ended up seeing BFA as in a mix. Let's talk about how it works out as we jump towards Purgatory, Arka.
Yeah, Purgatory, the biggest map. Imagine this. First you play the most default map and immediately you're pushed into the biggest map of this game. That is where every single person will have to make sure that they hold on to their horses. They need to have composure. There's already a team which is dominating to get the 3rd Booyah in their name, NKG. For the rest of them, they'll have to make sure they have 15 points in each game to make it go there.
Now, with points that teams need, let's talk about their preferred drop spots. This time, we still see a cluster, but it's reducing, descending. 4 teams in Brasilia, 2 in Central, and Lumber Mill also have 2 teams. That's what we've seen so far. It's not them jumping towards a cluster in the right beginning, but hey, Arka, I think this preferred drop spot is just a playthrough game for us to see, our viewers to see, but it never happens. We always see that teams move in the direction that they know where teams fight and which teams they can take a head-on fight with, rather than go for a complete outbreak of a fight. It is safer because it's about qualifying in the top 6.
Yeah, that's the best part, right? You need to keep this in your mind. It's all about top 6. It's not about how many points you get through eliminations or how many booyahs you carry forward. You need to have a close watch on what the overall standing is, how the teams are playing, and then probably come up with the right kind of an equation to get a booyah, because the upcoming map is going to be the map of purgatory, where every other team is going to come under pressure because they're going to be pestered until the final circle.
Now let's talk about where the circle starts off. Right where Lumber Mill that we ended up seeing 2 teams. This time it doesn't seem like it's going to be 2 teams. The preferred drop spots actually telling us the wrong story. However, the MVPs, they drop there, and from there the flight starts and is going to be ending right at Crossroads. Now I'm taking a closer look if at Moat House we spot any of the teams. As of now, it seems like around the Forge as well as our campsite that teams are trying to make a hit for. Do we have a clash? They are close by. And we can already see RQX. That's going to be Goku getting the very first elimination for Team RQX and taking down players from the Team Evolution. But no way, Team Evolution is fighting with the RTX team, who is right now finding that. Let's see what happens as the fight breaks out. Team Evolution fight back and forth, but it seems like RTX, they're the ones who are taking the better of it. Maxi God with his mini Uzi will be only able to get one, nothing much from there on. Thankfully, the glue walls will protect RTX. Launchpad was being used and now he's trying to make a quick run away. A little too late in that, and now to make it even worse, wounding it deeper is RTX, getting the 3rd elimination. But the players, it's going to be another team surrounding them. Oh no, missed Launchpad. Mirik, he will not be able to run away. Thankfully, Dolce will be able to correct that mistake for the team of RTX.
Now, this is what I say, the taste of your own medicine. That's what he did out there, and eventually had to pay the price. Karma at its best. But Wolves on the other side, they chose the right time. They waited for the iron to get hot, and that is when they came in to strike. Whereas on the other side, we see Nivesh. He gets shot rapidly from that of Titan from a distance from that plasma gun. Immediately heals himself, gets himself in a hard cover as Wiki tries to use that incognito to come in from a different angle. Nivesh is in deep trouble. Shots coming in from 2 different directions. But the push with that still, he gets taken down. And the confirmation. Probably this is where they need to wake up, because Arise are slowly setting on the other side.
Arise, thankfully with the revive, as you said, will be able to at least reset their footprint here in Purgatory. But RQX with the UAV, they're trying to find in case the players are close by. But they've left the position of the vending machine. They've already made a run. But oh, wait, Venom. He tried to stick around the tower, and now with the UAV, they have information. Look at Titan, how quickly he's running. He knows the players close by. But the stealth bites, that is helping him out. But for how long? It's about to run out of clock and time, and he cannot shoot. But finally he does. As soon as he comes out of the stealth bite, gets the COD, gets one elimination. That's going to be lucky. Not lucky at all. Wiki turns it around with the AC-80, but RQX, they have another problem now. After losing a teammate, the vending machine is close by, but before they could head there, Team Evolution, they've headed in this court.
Oh, it's important for them to stick to that vending machine, right? RQX, they come in over here. Titan, yes, he revives one of his teammates, but at the cost of himself. But has he done a good job? We'll have to wait and watch. TEB on the other side. You know, I'm kind of starting to get concerns for this team, because sometimes it seems like everything is going in their favor, and all of a sudden they get washed out.
Do they change it? I agree. They've not seemed like they've been consistent in trying to get those points or eliminations. And now somehow, just because they were ahead of RQC, they're almost about to take them down. Vicky is still trying his best, holding the fort, letting his teammates move in the other direction, go to another vending machine, but they have another player there. Vicky, he's losing his HP. Shanku, he should have the better of the CQC, and yes, he does with a max 7. Will be able to put him down. And that's going to be the second elimination for Team Evolution. Trying to evolve, trying to get better. But this is not a lot to go through with. And seems like Sahil on the other end, he finds one from Arise. Maybe because one of the players from RQC went there, they were able to spot it.
I mean, a lot of action here and there, and a lot of confusion if you ask me, because all these teams, they're eager to take fights, but again, at a cost of a lot of points as well. BFA, look at that. Roger, he comes in with a vehicle, tumbles right in front of R2V, but IP is looking it from a distance. He starts to shoot, but Roger, he doesn't realize there's a player inside of this building. weaving his way, gets into the compound at the right time. But as he walked into the jaws of death, we'll have to wait and watch. Yes, he has. He gets taken down. Whereas on the other side, Jason Solo, they comes
Wait,
in.
what?
He sees another player out there, but touching the vending machine,
they
he
steal
gets
it.
called smash.
R2V. Oh no, 1v1. Couldn't hold it off. He did take one player down over there. But insane powers. Jason unfortunately had to fall after just getting one. But Unique Esports are here. Wait, how is it multiple teams fighting it off? Now R2V, they instantly revive their teammate as soon as they lost it. Unhone spots Smokey. Can he take down Smoke over there? In the meantime, Unique, they spot insane powers. Vetty 17, he gets confirmed. Too many different fights in many directions happening at the same time, because all these teams were closer together fighting around, but finally they've been forced in different positions.
The calm before the storm, Lucifer. This is where I start to get tensed, because few teams by now who have not got those early points, they come into a kind of pressure where they start to make mistakes. But yes, UNQ for now have got a very good start. Unique, they've got 6 eliminations already. IP on the other side, yes, one of the other teams who have got 7 but at a man loss. So probably these are the teams we can expect to be there in the final circles.
Final circles, but right as now it seems like no positions being found yet by R2V. They just survive, get eliminated, lose players. Wolves on the other end, they've secured 8 eliminations, but as soon as I was about to compliment them, Poore, he gets put down. And now Zoeb, he's closed the distance, but he thought it's going to be a full squad that he'll be able to find. There's another team right behind him. This chase of just back and forth. Now look at this Copy trying to make a run to the vending machine, and he spots Sham. And now Copy, while Sham has gone in for a revive, Copy is the last one. He's being hit by the damage, but thankfully he will still survive. Boost is being used, and now he's made it to the vending machine. Had only enough to get one of the players up, but Sham spotted that. Now Sham would want to take a taste of an elimination. Valiant Dash being used, and there is a M1917 being used, and on the other end as well, the same weapon. And this Mexican standoff is going to be won by Sham, and he will pull out his hat and tell, "Thank you, sir."
More than thank you, Sai. He said, "Adios, my friend." And that's what he could do, right? All he had to do was connect those shots, use that glue wall at the right time. Textbook basics, everything was ticked off out there. But Unique on the other side, yet again, the distance, and they're kind of having a very different kind of a play style out here. And it seems to be going in their favor. Look at that Danav. He's just rushing in, trying to take down players, not bothered about getting confirmations, where he expects his teammate from a distance to actually do it. Rex comes in from the other side, misses a lot of shots against Wiki, but he's tagged off. His location has been compromised, and now the push from Danav is going to reward him with more eliminations.
Vicky will not be able to do anything. Can he make a run? Can he get to the vending machine? He's close by, but in the way and direction he's running, he's also will fall in the crosshairs of the Wolves, and Vicky will be found, and the last person to fall will be the end of RQC. However, Rex, he might have traversed a little too far, but what was that shot with the M590? I think that's the advantage of having a Zen and playing it through so well. Gets a crazy hit on the players of Wolf, and Wolves will be now worried what just happened. And with that hit that he did, you can see Unique Esports, they're surrounding the Wolves. They want to cage them down, put those wild beasts to rest. They had a quick revive, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Using the chrono, making a run again towards the vending machine. Oh, now they went for the revive. I thought it already happened, but Villain, he gets put down by Smoke on the Mac 10. Dana finally coming in as the savior. But even him, Smoke will go down. Predator as well. 2 of the players from Wolves are down, and now that is 14 total eliminations for Unique Esports, and it seems like they're gonna now surge in this purgatory.
Oh, it's good for us to call them the road rollers of the lobby. My goodness, look at them. All they're doing is just moving down everybody who comes in their path. And the confidence, obviously, all thanks to their frontline assaulters trying to pick those shots. But yes, that one shot with the shotgun, my goodness, one turn, flip, and a land. This is what I call fly like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
That's gonna hurt. Wounded are the Wolves. They got 11 eliminations. It looked like they were better in this game, and Arka, all of a sudden, it just took one player, Rex, and he was the T-Rex to break them all. Wolves right now did manage to recover one of the players' revive, but no revive happening here for RTX. Sham did try. Oh wait, actually there's been a quick revive. So both these players are still up for a fight, but a nice nade coming in from Money. Mirik is down, and what can Sham do? Valiant Dash trying to run away, but it doesn't work out. Money is still on his heels to take this player down, and another M590 to strike blow to two players of RTX.
M590, the goated gun in this lobby, is actually doing every single damage. But NKG, how clinical they are, how much they trust this lad Money, who's always in the front picking up frags. My goodness. Let's not forget that after this, we can expect, Unique to come close to them. But guess what? NKG have already got an answer for them as well. They put on 3 players, wounding them, making sure there's a solo man from that of Unique. And let's see whether they'll be able to put an end for them.
Insane power. They need to put an end to somebody's competition. 7 eliminations is what they've gotten in this game. But they need a lot more. They're sitting at the 8th spot. 33 total points. Sorry, not 33. 52 total points and 33 eliminations is what they have. And we already spoke about it. In case they want to make it to the positions at the top, as you can see, Ascendance as well as Arise, both are surviving. And now their points have surged to 69 as well as 62 respectively. Whereas still sitting at 61 points. And if those teams still keep getting points and Insane Power do not and get eliminated, they will be stuck at that 7th spot, and the game will go to game number 6, the last and very and only game. And Insane Power trying to maybe see if there is still a dabble of an option on that. However, Unique Esports Iron Man now being the savior as he revives the whole squad back into action.
Look at how well NKG have got the topography of this land. They've got that high ground. Now they have a view of every other team will try to climb up the hill. And not only that, all the information they need. But Unique for now, they land safely. Ascendants miss a lot of shots mid-air, but they choose aggression. As Naman pushes in with that shotgun, will be able to land one shot. Puts one player down. Rex gets taken down. The other guy, Danav, comes in from the other angle. And a fair trade coming in from that of Unique. A quadruple shot's being taken out there. But with this, Villain, he also sings the songs of death. 17 eliminations, and Unique, they take a pause and they take a bow for themselves.
They'll be happy that Iron Man got them back into the game. If not, they would have been eliminated. And as you said, now these eliminations will help them out. One of the players, Ascendants, who made it out, will go in for a revive. On the other end, Wolves, they were close to this battle. Rather, they choose the circle, not the zone. I would say maybe a better call, because Wolves need the points better than anybody. They're sitting at the 11th spot. We spoke about it. Dead at the end is not a great spot to be, but with Arise out of the competition, it's an opportunity for Wolves now. 16 points is already something they've grabbed. We saw 45 by NKG. NKG are still here. Now they're at the top of the charts with MVP going out. The last player being eliminated. Even RTX taken out. The 3rd spot is now also gone. Meaning teams at the bottom, this is their best chance to rise up the ranks and get up in game number 5. And there it is, Unique with the M1917 Iron Man putting an end to Naman and ending even Ascendance at the top 6.
Arise, Ascendants, every single team who come in front of this road rollers, all they're doing is crushing them. And the demon in the front line is going to be Danav. 10 eliminations already. If you see the right side of the screen, not many teams have even reached the double digit as a whole. But for now, IP, they've got a good position. They've got that hard compound for themselves. And all they're doing is waiting for the right time to strike. But Unique, since they know that now they've got an opportunity, they need to prepare themselves against NKG, the true hooligans of this lobby.
NKG, I agree, they are the beasts unchained. They're the troublemakers. Generally, the teams at the bottoms are the troublemakers. But how NKG are playing, they don't care whether teams are at the bottom or the top are troubling them or trying to take them down. And you already pointed the terrain advantage that NKG have. But they're now making their way downhill because the circle is a little further away from them. The vehicle they took has been destroyed, and that's from Insane Power. You spoke about it. Sitting in this trailer is not the best position, and Aleem instantly puts the player down, and he's not stopping. Keeping that window as an advantage, X-Divine has to go in for another revive on 2 different points. Both the players have been knocked. This is the warning shot directly coming in from NKG. Even after not having a player, they're standing as 3 men, but they're strong as 4.
But they've lost their frontline assault, right? Money is not in this game, and that could be a little bit challenging. Let's not forget, right now, they're relying on being a defense a fortress amongst themselves. Shots being taken for the opponents. Hyper doesn't connect much, but all he could do is erase the glue walls so that he can have a better view of his enemies.
On the other end, Insane Power, they're trying to not even tangle themselves with NKG as wolves. They're trying to pick players off. Fight with Team Evolution. Unique waiting for their own opportunity, but with this Riptide Rhythm, they understand that the fight is not just in front, it's going to be in the other angle. But Aleem and Hyper, look at how quick and witty they were. Just because Insane Power thought, oh wait, let's not fight this, let's move in the other direction. Two of the players get knocked and instantly NKG have surrounded them. It's only the glue wall protecting, but now Unique, and look at Hyper with the M249 instantly decimates the squad and they're put to rest. What a hit coming in from NKG, and Unique are done for.
Unique, they thought they were the unique team in the lobby, but it seems like NKG, they still have a lot of tricks up their sleeve. Hype was still hiding inside that building. They could be the last slaughterhouse for NKG. But yes, ice grenades have been tossed in, not doing too much of a damage, but rather if it was a grenade, the story would have been different. Iconic gets taken down and it's Script from a distance who lands a shot against him. And NKG, this three-man squad, is still looking unstoppable in this lobby.
This battle is a 4v3. NKG are the ones on the deficit, but against NKG we have not seen any teams do their best. Insane Power, they need a lot of points in the standings, but they're stuck inside a trailer and NKG have them surrounded, and right between those two, the entire squad of Insane Power is two teams surrounding them. Trying to toss a nade, but the nade also goes through the window. Hyper tries it, and there is Vetty who's been put down, and maybe a confirmation as well to follow through because Insane Power might not have enough time to bring him back up. But somehow, X-Divine, his entire game has been a medic game. He's been the support player. He's been helping the players back up. But right as of now, it's going to be NKG trying to see if they can traverse around because Team Evolution, they've decided to take a hit on Insane Power as well.
Oh, Insane Power, this could be a big mistake. Now they step out. They're going to be gatekept by not just one team, but two. Is this going to go in their favor? A UAV to get some information, but immediately gets taken down. NKG playing mind games out here. Puts one player down. Iconic, he puts a grenade to weaken them. And eventually we see that they are getting decimated. The last man standing, he also gets taken down because of Iconic's grenade. And now it comes down to a 3v4 situation. NKG Esports, they take one on their head. Aleem gets taken down, but a quick revival comes in. TEV, they're not wasting any time. They come in closer. NKG on the other side, they've already done the damage against MaxiGod. All they have to do is now pull off this 3v3. Yes, another player gets taken down, and it turns out to be a 2v1 situation.
Shanko and Sahil. Shanko is the one closest. Sahil is the sniper. But Sahil is also losing HP. He pulls out his dually and Script. He will be taken down. And Sahil, what a game coming through with the dually. Puts an end, and it is going to be a Booyah coming in from Team Evolution. What a game they pulled off. Right at the nick. Turning around. Showing us that snipers don't have to always stay at a distance, even closing the gap and just pulling out his secondary weapons, and he will be able to put NKG out at second place and get the Booyah for themselves.
Any given day, this was an NKG special game, but the last spotlight, it was just taken away. This was the shot by Sahil. My god, two player gets taken down, and we see that Iconic from the other side lands the first grenade, gets two knocks, and the second one comes in to end the deal for them. But NKG on the other side, they tried to do their best. They fought until the final moment. If not for the snipers shifting to a close range gun, I don't think so they would have survived. It's Shanku and Sahil at the nth moment, and this was the moment. Sahil, he just falls back with that dual revolver, lands a shot, gets that Booyah in his name.
And that's incredible for him to switch around like that. It's very tough at the nick of time to make that change happen because NKG, as you rightfully said, brought it so close, almost that 1v2. And if Script could have scripted his own Booyah for the team all alone in a 1v2, brilliant stuff. But Shanku, with the Oscar that we saw up close and personal, trying to take hits, did win it out. Sahil, sniper, we already spoke, and look at the damage. Just like how Shanku's damage is the 3700, Sahil's only objective here was dish out damage one after another, sitting at 3925. Doesn't have eliminations, doesn't have assists, but he has knocks which helped his teammates do the deed.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Shanku on the other side, all thanks to his eliminations as well as damage, he's going to be rewarded the MVP with ache-acho. Whenever given a chance, he was able to knock out a player and give the right kind of opening for his team with that Oscar. How many times have you seen an Oscar with an ache-acho in the close range, man?
And this is the evolution that Team Evolution are bringing to fall. This is the best way to open up chances for yourself. Play a game where others don't imagine that it is possible. Having J Beeps with the EP, Joseph and Nikita, and even though Nikita has taken a hit in the newest update, it still doesn't seem to trouble teams as of now. And the Team Evolution, they get a Booyah total of 27 points. However, NKG, this is why we said they're the troublemakers of the lobby, because they're taking away points. Look at it, 19 eliminations. It didn't even flinch the team who had the Booyah. That's how NKG are playing. It didn't even flinch NKG. It is going to send a shiver to every other team. And Unique Esports finally making a jump, Arka. But is it enough or is it too late? 26 total points along with Wolves. Oh wait, both these two teams were at the bottom and both have pulled off a 20-pointer game. But this is game 5.
But again, it all comes down to the consistency, right? If they pull it off in a single game and they're unable to do it in the next one, that is where things can be problematic. But NKG, they were all over the map. If you see them, right? They were evading from fights. They were not only avoiding fights, but at the same time, they were trying to traverse around, try to understand the circle better. They know their opponents well, and that's how they moved in this map. Once they got that high ground, that is when they started to shift that pace. But TEV on the other side, they were sticking to the corner of the circle. The circle was just kissing their forehead every single time, and all they had to do was wait for the right time to strike.
Yeah, I think NKG, as you also said, thought the edge of the circle, the terrain advantage should be something that should work for them. But they were eventually forced off it. And Team Evolution, thankfully, even though they were the ones climbing up the hill, they were at the lower ground, it was insane power in between. And that insane power's trailer play hurt Insane Power as well as NKG. And with that, let's take a look at today's standings. As you can see, Team Evolution, they've climbed 3 spots, but they're at the 7th position. 67 total points is what they have. However, Ascendance, they've been pushed out because Insane Power, they've taken up the spot and at a total of 68 points. R2V, they have been slowly pushed down. Thankfully for Arise, even though it was not the greatest of games, they have been consistent. So they take up another spot, get a little more points, and 17 total is what they're sitting at. But I think Ascendance, they're going to be the most hurt at the end of this game. However, Wolves and Unique Esports, you mentioned, consistency is the name of the game. They did get 20-pointer now, but they have to be consistent of pulling off another 20, if possible, fingers crossed in the next game. But that 20-point has to be close to 30.
I'm starting to do the numbers, right? Arise at 70, and we have BFA at the 9th position with almost being 60. So they'll have to make sure they have 10 more points that of Arise to make it through. And it doesn't end there. After them, there are more teams who can actually make it through as well. So hopefully we'll be able to see a map which can bring more action, which can bring in more teams to fight it out early on. It's all about the eliminations in the upcoming game.
Fingers crossed, man. Arka, last game for Group B. They did their all when we started off in the month of May. City qualifiers, FFC mode in June, and now that everybody's trying to fight, win their way in July here in our groups, play-ins. Their hunt is for the group stages. That is going to be later. But it's not looking that great, I would say, for some of the teams. But the points are very close.
Yeah. It's still an open
point
door.
Of a difference. It's an open door. From 1 point of a difference from that 6th position to the 7th spot. And from there on, at a maximum of around 14 points, that is good enough for any team to still climb up.
Hey man, I'll just tell you how close this is, right? The team at the very bottom is Unique with 40 points. If they get a 30-pointer, they come up to 70 points. Right next to R2V Esports for 70 points. And that's how close this is. They can still qualify being at the 6th position. But the prediction right now, I'm going to stick to the fan favorites because RTX, NKG and BFA, they've done a decent job trying to be consistent. The one reason why I'm inclining more towards RTX and BFA is because they have the capability of making it through.
While there's a capability, I went for the triple threat of a triple R. And while we go to our last game, where are we? It is randomized. Is it Nextera? So Lara, Which game are we heading to? It seems to be Kalahari, and yes, it is Kalahari that we are heading towards. Kalahari happened a little earlier. That was RTX's entire field, where they got themselves a Booyah. Now, RTX moving in that direction, that's the reason. We both already had RTX. Now, I think a picture already being written, maybe in a foresight that we had. It is Kalahari. Now, I went for the triple threat of a triple R. R2V is also there in my prediction, along with RQX. Now, the drastic thing is RTX is in the top 3, R2V is in the bottom 3 of the top 6, and RQX is in the bottom 6. Now, the chance of why RQX I took about is because I said 14 points of a difference, that is RQX. They're the last team I see an open door for. Even though we have, what I would say, the one-off presentation thinking that, hey, Wolves and Unique have a chance, but come on, Arka, we know the 30-pointer is a far too higher goal to reach than 14 points.
I mean, we are stepping into sniper's paradise, right? And this is where every sniper, he just needs to make sure he gives that opening. All you need to do is deal a little bit of damage and your frontline assaulters can pick that up. But yes, if somebody can stop NKG from getting more eliminations, that's the only way for the rest of them to pick up some. It's not only just NKG. We saw MVPs picked up a lot of points out there. Insane power. One issue with this team where I bring in for eliminations is that they do not incline on fights. They incline more on position points. If they don't get eliminations in this game, probably it's a done deal for them as well.
I agree. I think the survival mode is what Insane Power play on, and we know that. That's how X-Divine makes his play. He understands the circle. He will always bring the team to the last circles. We just saw in the previous game. I think in the first few games, or rather, you can't say few because now we are at game number 6. It was difficult for him to make an idea or understanding about it because the entire lobby is filled with underdogs. Everybody trying to prove themselves, forge their legacy here in Tez FFMIC 2026 fall. So it's not going to be an easy run for anybody. Everybody has to start off new. Everybody has to find newer and finer strategies, and I think that's where Insane Power are making it happen. And as we know, X-Divine, one or the other way, hook or crook, he always makes his team qualify. He will get them towards the finals as well. We saw even in spring, they were the ones who won the point rush. They had 10 points. So X-Divine, fingers crossed, there's going to be a lot of hope. In the next 15 seconds, we are going to be starting our last game on Kalahari.
You spoke about everything, but we never spoke about the pressure. If there's one man who can deal with that pressure, is X-Divine, and let's see how well he plays that. But at the same time, you guys, time for you to predict which team is going to walk away with the Booyah in the upcoming game, and also your top 6 who are going to qualify from this group, because we'll be heading into the Sniper's Paradise, where the deserty island of Kalahari is just going to get things much more intensified with its heat, and all the teams, they go in for an early jump.
Quickly flying down, trying to see if they could spot somebody as the early birds rise. As of now, it seems like Wolves, they take a very big of a split approach. Only one player Predator at the maze, while the rest are moving towards shrines, where there is Arise, where there is Unique, where there is even Insane Power, and even one player, Iron Man, who is generally the savior. But that is now NKG. They're the ones at shrines who will trouble Unique. Unique, we already spoke about. One of the players, Iron Man, he had made a quick jump in the other direction. Electrotherapy, and now Money, using his teammates' help with the skill, has his own Valiant Dash. Will try to use it, but Villain was ahead of it. Back 7 being used and puts Money down. Danav putting Aleem down, and now NKG one after another losing players. Danav gets the confirmations along with Villain and instantly forcing NKG to revive the whole squad. What a turnaround coming in from Unique.
Yeah, absolutely Unique, showcasing that they are capable of taking the big dogs head on. But for now, Mad God is not far away. This is Arise on the other side, who have gotten some early, good eliminations against Wolf. But now they need to be careful. There's one solo man, Mad God. He steps out of cover. He comes in closer with that dash. Tries to put the play down. Eventually will be rewarded. But a fair trade comes in from the other side. And eventually Unique are trying to do their best. But guess what? Nivesh comes in with that experience. Will be putting down a player. Getting that revival through as well. And after this, Johan as well as Nivesh will have a big job ahead in front of them.
Trying their best. Dana, the last man, confirms Johan. That's one elimination added. But Unique Esports, the reason they thought it's the same team and went for it is because they did not get a full wipe on NKG. That's what happens when you're completely playing blind. You never know which team you're fighting against. That's the best part of Free Fire Max. You just fight, and until you see a number drop down of a team, that's when you know that you eliminated a squad, or you don't know at all. And Danav, he can't do anything. He's surrounded. Nivesh gets closer along with Venom, will take him down. However, Iron Man, we spoke about him. He was already far away from shrines. He will have a second chance to get his teammates back up. However, for Arise, it gets them 6 more eliminations in total, meaning their chance at the top 6 is getting solidified as we speak.
Absolutely, but look at the way this team has turned out to be. All of a sudden, Arise, they come in to converge a team from different directions. They're taking that risk. Nivesh has now come out in the front line, and that's what's happening. On the other side, NKG script the last man. Probably after reviving, he goes in to hide somewhere far away. He gets punished, gets taken down. All thanks to Smokey, who was able to sniff him out.
Wolves, they did pick one, but they have another. Multiple different teams, but they still are able to hold off. X-Divine, the leader of insane power, has been taken down for the time being. Now, without the head of the team, they have to look for a revive. But in the direction Jason is running, I think it's the intention of taking a launch pad good. He makes a jump off it, leaving one of his teammates just out there in the open. But I think this is the cost of getting your teammates back in the other direction. And as of now, Jason solo, he makes it towards the vending machine, and also as a safety measure, using an UAV to make sure that the closer compounds are clear.
And all of a sudden, I see that teams are now trying to play in the corners of the circle. I mean, they're evenly spread out if you see the map, right? Nobody is choosing to, kind of have that, corner rotation, come in slow, try to make sure that they clear back lines. But this time around, it's all about how many of them you can pick up. But let's not forget that Wolves, they need to make a big game out of this, or else they might lose that position. They are somewhere in the bottom 2, so they need a 20-pointer, and that's forcing them to take fights.
It will. That's how it is. Once you feel the pressure, now you know how much of a difference you are at. You'll be forced to take fights. And right now, on the feed at least, we end up seeing MVP, and they're not taking on a team which is at the top. It's going to be BFA, and BFA are also being peppered by Ascendants. So BFA, if they continue losing players one after another, their elimination is already about to happen. With all the 11 teams now, with one already out of the game, the competition's opportunity is slowly being funneled down to just fewer teams left. Script again. Every time that we see Script on our screen, he's alone. And I think this is kudos and credits to Unique Esports' start game that they did at Shrines, that NKG are unable to find a footing here at Kalahari at all.
Absolutely. Now, there's a lot of calculations which is running up my brain, Lucifer. One major thing being how these teams are going to survive in the final circle. Early on, they're trying to take those fights. Look at how desperate they are. They try to jump in very low on HP, still not undercover. But Mad God on the other side with that Max 7. He doesn't realize there's another one close by. Eventually gets punished for that as well. Arise Esports, who were looking so strong in the beginning, all of a sudden are unable to, hold on to the pressure and just getting succumbed to it. But Wolves on the other side, good recovery.
But still, 2 of the players are down, and now Arise is slowly surrounding them. And Smoke, he'll also be taken down. Not much to do from here. Arise, however, they're being spotted. That is Team Evolution from a distance. And now they're trying to take over this position with Arise as well as Wolves being taken down. 10 eliminations in total. Sahil, man, this guy's become a beast. Just like we saw the previous game, it seems like it's now continuing after them getting a Booyah now with total of 10 eliminations. Looking forward to eliminating a whole squad. Ascendant still powering through, somehow still managing to survive, had players in different directions, and one of the players is just at the throat of BFA, not allowing them to survive. Unique, their recovery is not working out, Arka.
Yeah, absolutely, but I still wonder which among these teams have got eliminated. Ascendants, they were looking so good at one point of time. They walk away from this lobby. Arise at one point of time, they were also going to get cleared off, but luckily they had that insurance policy. For now, TEV on our screens, they're also desperate, and that's why they've got 11 eliminations. But what they have to do right now is try to survive until the final circles. Pushing so blindly against opponents could be a big cost for them. But Maxi, with that Max 7, gets in closer into the Chrono Shield. Both of them trying to play the same character. Now we'll have to see who's the closest when it comes to the close range. And Tushar gets punished as backup arrives for TEV.
1v1 doesn't work, then surge the opponent with numerous players. That's the best second strategy if you have reinforcements close by. And now after getting that elimination, Team Evolution getting ready for another fight. And RTX has closed the distance. Iconic gets spotted, but a little too late on the woodpecker was Sham. He wanted to take a complete knock, but it doesn't work out. Now that is going to be information for Team Evolution. Now as they close the distance, RTX, they better be ready for an inviting fight coming in from Team Evolution.
Evolution, they have to play it safe, but what a shot coming in from the side of Shanku. He gives that opening to his team yet again. 7 eliminations is what he's got, but guess what, Sham, the clever one with the glue wall, gets that revival, puts another one to cover himself up, but he needs to be more careful than what he's doing right now because they're converging from all different directions. But this time around, Shanku, he gets taken down. It's the Evolution who has started to pick up more than what they can chew. But guess what? Their mouth is big enough and they're happy to get all of what they can.
They don't lose a single player. They just get them all back on their feet. Players were knocked down, no eliminations being given away, and 17 in total is what Team Evolution are able to cope up with, putting RTX out. That was insane coming in of how they were holding Iconic. He got knocked and we thought it's done for. Then there's a savior, one after another. The way this team bounce off one another to pull off a fight is just incredible. But right as now, the MVP is fighting with another top dogs of Group B. That is going to be NKG. And Aleem confirms Rupesh and still trying to take a hit. Already making a run is ache-acho in the same direction as fire, but mid-air gets knocked from Aleem. Aleem has been so good on the Winchester. We've been seeing him from all the previous games that he's been fighting on. And now Tushar and ache-acho, they're trying to use all the ridges, all the hills, all the curves of Kalahari to run away from NKG at Refinery.
NKG, they've got the biggest spot yet again. I mean, their strategy is so simple, right? Get to the highest spot in the map, try to get information, see who you can knock out through your snipers, and once you have got all the info, what you do is go strike and pick up those frags. One best thing about this team, Sam, is that money is not only the frontline assaulter. If he gets taken down, you have Hyper who can pull it off, you have Money who can pull it off, and ultimately it's Script with all those experiences he's had over the years. Even he can be a crazy frontline assaulter.
But the happiest part for NKG right as now is that they found a spot. They are not being isolated. They are not being cornered by a whole team and one individual player. So Refinery almost about to be their haven. Maybe their base. It also depends on the circle. Right as now, just like how Ascendants have all their 4 players, 7 in total eliminations. Team Evolution had more, but Shanko on the 1v1 couldn't fight with Smoke, and Smoke was quick to turn it around, confirm as well. Even Iconic falls. And now Wolves, the team who had plethora of eliminations, they're about to fall down. Sahil making a run. He's already lost half of his health. And now Kiroro trying to make a jump around, and I think he will be also found very soon. Sahil being put to rest. That is Team Evolution also put down. Wolves now trying to act as one of the best teams out there in the world. Falcons, Kiroro or Koro. And now with Wolves getting that elimination, it's not yet done because finally that has forced, because the circles moved, forced NKG to move towards command post.
NKG, the early rotation might reward them heavily, but what they'll have to do is watch out for their backs. They see a UAV, they eliminated, not giving information to the opponents. They spread around in this map as well, trying to come in from one corner. But before which, they also have information about where Insane Power is right now. And that's why they're trying to push in towards that. Wetty in that vehicle needs to be careful, gets taken down. It's got to be solo. The confirmation comes through, and X-Divine immediately falls back to the nearest vending machine because he realizes NKG is the most unstoppable team in this lobby.
They were stopped at the start, but as you say, now they are looking unstoppable. None of the teams have managed to even take one of their players out, and they have all their 4 players rushing right towards the command post vending machine compound. R2V. They have all their 4 players, but all in the same compound. Snake is the first one to fall. This is problem copy. Next, unhone and ICO are the last 2 survivors. This is always a mistake from teams trying to survive. They thought they're going to be holding it off as a trap, but they're the ones who are getting trapped. Unhone is down in ICO, the last one standing. Money confirming player after player, and everybody gets lost. Puts an end. Unfortunate for R2V. They thought it was a compound, that was a safe haven, that was a fortress, but it is never, especially when you have a vending machine.
But R2V, they were at the 6th position, and how many points have they picked up? Halim gets taken down. Dolce has got the best spot in the house for now, but the zone, it's betraying every other team who try to go towards that command post region. Now they'll have to come out of command post, not only tackle RTX, but eventually they'll have to make it inside the circle. But guess what? RTX, they're having a treat out here. They've taken 3 players off MVP, and probably they'll be getting 1 more if they're being more persistent.
RTX, they got a Booyah here on Kalahari, so they know the terrain really well. And around the regions of command post, this is a place where everybody battles, so they should be comfortable. NKG, knowing that a team has a higher ridge advantage, they decide rather to play around the edges of the compound, using the wall as a cover. And Insane Powers X Divine was trying to take a pickup truck and make a run for it. Almost fails, but wait, launchpad. Oh, NKG taking a decision of moving in the other direction. Money fails in the jump, and then following through. Aleem in midair gets knocked. Hyper gets picked. They all try to rush Insane Power, and all they're getting is hit upon. Confirmed one after another. Now Mirik has him gunned on the woodpecker and trying to take him down. And what a big mistake from NKG. And now they suffer losses down to the last 2.
Last 2 players. It's more than enough for them if they can survive. But RTX, if they let these 2 breathe, it could be a big problem. Now, until now, they were enjoying that top spot, right? Now they'll have to come out of that position. Script on the other side, puts down Dolce, gets that confirmation immediately. And this is how deadly NKG can be.
Dolce, that was crazy shots. Has he confirmed? But on the other end, Koro. Wolves Koro. Just trying to be one of the best players to the team right now. But BFA, they also want to. They have 12 in total eliminations. This is the last game, the intensity of it. Insane Power, they did pick players from NKG. Now also picking on the MVPs. Tushar being confirmed. Insane Power only have 4 eliminations. They've lost Jason Solo. It's Veti, Susti as well as X Divine. But multiple teams are surrounding. The closest to them as the zone's closing in is going to be BFA, and the number's not that great. But they're still traversing, using the edges of the containers, trying to get closer. And Dolce is helping out. Money gets knocked. That's 1 more player from NKG out. Last man standing is going to be Script, and Insane Power using this timing to slowly move around the edges of the play zone.
I don't know whether this is a good choice for them, because now they let go of the only hard cover they had. From the only corner they could have climbed up on that stone. A good control by BFA. They wanted this Booyah badly, and it seems like they're very, very close in getting one. No other place in this circle has got any kind of cover apart from that of BFA. Script, still alive, still waiting for an opportunity to strike. RTX on the other side. Dolce gets taken down, immediately gets revived, and now he tries to come in. Script, he can be the game changer for this lobby. As Srushti knows his location, he's not able to do much.
Not much, as you rightfully said so, but Dolce will do it, bring it down to the last 4 teams. And out of the last 4 teams, it's only RTX who have better position in the top 6. Insane Power, Wolves and BFA, they need this Booyah to get back in. Insane Power, they just jumped to the top 6, so they know how much of an opportunity this is. However, losing a player is more difficult. Dolce finds another opening. This man is looking unstoppable as the sniper. And now cornered are Insane Power. BFA already had the advantage. We spoke about that. They were close. They pushed towards Insane Power. Now they regroup back into the circle, and they have a higher ridge advantage. They're above the hill edge, and Insane Power, they cannot move up because RTX is holding them. Wolves, in the meantime, they thought they could surprise RTX, but holding it off. RTX, with the help of BFA, completely shut down Wolves within a blink of an eye.
Wolves, they had to survive this game. They were in the bottom 4, but have they done enough? Before which we'll have to look at how well BFA can close the deal. They were at the 10th position before this game, and under pressure, these diamonds are getting made as they survive for the longest time possible. They still make sure that RTX fight off Insane Power, and then that is when they come into strike. Sushti still alive. BFA, they're holding the topography really well, sticking to the corners of the circle, trying to make it through. And RTX, they also think the same as they come in from the other corner.
RTX, they don't care about anybody else's qualification. All they care about is another Booyah here. And now Veti, he gets taken down by the zone. Susti is the last one standing for Insane Power. If BFA get a very big game, Insane Power, if they've not had enough points, they might get taken down. Srishti trying to make a run and Dolce finds one on Roger. This could be an opening of 1v1 and it's going to be Ask. He finds, asks and delivers, but it's still not done. Roger, his confirmation about to follow. Ask, who went for an instant knock, now will be met with the entire force of RTX. Phoenix trying to hold off 3 players right in front of him, and Ask is the last man, and this time his question will be delivered with a Booyah for RTX.
RTX, a team to get the second Booyah for the day. They've done a phenomenal job. After this, we'll have to see which among these teams did actually qualify. Yesterday, it did not look like it's going to be so close of a game. But today, every team have given their 100%. But once we look at the overall standing, we'll see which among these teams have fallen short and which among them is going to be disappointed throughout the night.
This is gonna hurt Arka if Insane Power, even after surviving so far and long, holding it off, it not work out. But Dolce, man, a sniper to watch out for. This is the best that we love. This is the reason we have the hashtag Forge Your Legacy. This is your opportunity. And steadfast was Dolce. Look at those shots coming through. Ouch. Every one of them deep and wounding. And yeah, the sniper bullets are always the ones who hurt the most. Deliver a blow after a blow, and Mirik to find the last in the last shot. And that is how RTX Esports, they get the very last Booyah for Group B, make it a double whammy for themselves. And Dolce, he is going to be the MVP using the Raphael. I mean, we did see the Moss as well that he had played. The stealth bite, a little bit of a here and there in terms of the skills. Don't have to be worried about it. Yahi with the A124, Mirik with the Chrono, Sham with the Oscar. And you can see one thing in common that RTX had, and one of the reasons like how R2V tried to hold themselves off, these guys have Thiva, meaning both their rushers, in case they fall off in a battle, they both having Thiva will instantly within a second revive the teammate, and that helps RTX Esports to survive further.
No, let's not forget another trump card over here. Yahi with that A124, right? In the close range, if somebody comes in, if somebody is knocked out, they want to dash in and A124 just to make sure that everything is nullified and they've got that opportunity to get that revival. I couldn't have said that better. But RTX, Dolce, this man has been the man of the hour with that AWM. A proper sniper setup, if you ask me. I used to always see that Moro, Moko, and a Raphael, but this time around I see that Raphael has been the active skill and the passive is Adam Morris, which adds it and makes it much more deadlier than it used to be. Nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, we see that overall standing for this game, and it's going to be a Booyah walking away in the hands of RTX, who have got 27 points. BFA, a well-fought game this is. I think it's got to be rewarding them heavily. Wolves as well have done a crazy job. Team Evolution, 2 games. They've been the most consistent in both these games. NKG, as always, nobody has to speak about this. Foxes, they've done a beautiful job so far. Ascendants get taken down, but I'm kind of worried for a Rise. I'm kind of worried for Insane. I'm kind of inclining towards R2V getting eliminated.
And with that, let's take a look at today's standings in case somebody got pushed out. And what is this? Insane Power, they made it through. BFA in the last game, hurrah, that they put up, they get through with total of 84 points. But the teams who miss out, Arise and Ascendants, Arka, both these two teams were in the top 6 from the very beginning. Even at our game number 4, slowly Ascendants got pushed out at game number 5, and at game 6 it's Arise. And how many points do they miss by? 1 point for Arise, and Ascendants, they miss by 4 points. That has to hurt. Even for R2V, they miss by a single point. Man, oh man, when it comes to the top 6 and when the games are so close and you miss just because you couldn't perform in that one last game, hurts even worse.
Rise Esports, my goodness, relying mostly on their eliminations, that could also be a little bit problematic. And this is a lesson learned the hard way. And this is where, you know, this team is going to be so disappointed within themselves. Nivesh as well is going to be gnashing his teeth for all the small mistakes the whole team has done so far. But yes, kudos to whatever they could pull off. Let's not forget that Ascendants, Wolves, all these teams, they woke up way too late. Probably they're going to sleep way too early.
Yeah. Wolves, unfortunate. I mean, a little too late. They got consistent. If they kept that in the very first game, it could have been opportunity. Unique as well. They found a lot of eliminations. But with that, let's talk about the teams who qualified to the group stage from Group B. Starting it off with NKG Esports, RTX Esports, the MVPs, Team Evolution, BFA, and Insane Power. And this is the reason we said X Divine, one or the other way, he will always find a way to qualify. And he's done it once again. And a big surprise, maybe something for fans out there to hurt, is going to be the elimination of Arise. The team invited from our Tejas FFMIC 2026 Spring are out of the run here in fall.
Kind of disappointed, man. I can already feel the sorrow. Nonetheless, these teams, they fought for it. BFA especially in the final few games, the way they held on to their nerves, the way they were being consistent. As I said, they are going to be the team we're going to be watching out for. But this is the team which has put a lot of smiles on the fans from Tamil Nadu, because NKG, 2 Booyahs, 87 eliminations, 127 total points with 50,000 total damage. They made their region proud.
What a game coming in from NKG. Incredible, I agree with you, Arka. Even when they have a man down, they're still able to hold their front and trouble hurt. And that is the reason I gave them the name the troublemakers of the lobby, because they were the ones troubling every team who wanted to make their way up. Along with them, yes, we have a Team Evolution as well. As you can see, we have the elimination leaders, right? As now Money leading the charts with a total of 30 points. A very familiar face we spoke about from Team Evolution, Shanku, with a total of 24 points. Then comes in Aleem, and Aleem, we saw him, whether it be the Winchester, and I think maybe even once with the AC-80 if I'm not wrong, but yes, Winchester for sure. 22 eliminations. Tushar coming in from the MVPs with a 21 of his own, and then RTX Shah with 21 as well. I'm surprised with one thing, Arka, that we've not seen here is the snipers are not in the elimination leader. Maybe goes to say that how Dolce activated in the last games compared to the very first. Rushers took the eliminations from the right of the beginning of today's group stage.
I mean, it's obvious, right? The snipers, all they could do is deal the damage. It's the frontline assaulters who went in to not only get that confirmation quickly, but also had somebody to, sweep the floor. And somewhere I feel that, upcoming games, we can expect snipers to pick off more better, because in a map like Kalahari, when you know it's a sniper's paradise, when you know your snipers are, hitting those headshots, it's important for you to support them. Nonetheless, today's day was phenomenal. A lot of disappointment, a lot of drama, and a very, very good day. But with this, ladies and gentlemen, I believe we are coming to the end of the day. And for those who are watching back home, please do let us know which was your favorite day, yesterday or today, because more exciting days are coming up. You guys are watching Tejas Free Fire Max India Cup Fall 2026. See you guys tomorrow.